17-year-old Tomas Plancarte Benson says former friend Daniel Tingen cheated him out of $200. Daniel claims he and Tomas were partners in a bank scam.
Mrs. Benson, this is your son, Mr. and Mrs. Naylor, your son, and it is your claim, Miss Benson, that the defendant's son defrauded your son out of a couple of $100.
That's correct.
By some sort of scam with your son's ATM card. Mr. and Mrs. Naylor say that this was not a scam by their son, but sort of a thing that both boys did because they wanted some money, and your son is just not prepared to fess up that he was complicit in this little scam. So he's blamed their son.
Okay.
So why don't the parents sit down for a second, because they weren't there, they don't know what happened. The only two people that know what happened are these two people who were standing in front of me. Your first name is what?
Tomas.
And yours?
Daniel.
Daniel, how long have you and Tomas been friends?
For a couple of years now.
So why don't you tell me, Tomas, your version of what happened and when it happened?
All right. This situation all started on January 23rd of this year when I had lent Mr. Tingen $40 from my own bank account.
Where were you when he asked you for the money?
I was at home.
And where was the money?
It was in my bank account.
And where was he?
At his house, I presume, yeah.
Well, how did he contact you, sir?
Yeah, he called me. He had called me from his house.
And said what?
And said he needed 20 bucks. The first time. There's two transactions here. One earlier in the evening and then one later. And
Look at me, sir.
I'm trying to collect myself. I'm very nervous.
He called you once and said, I need 20 bucks, not 40.
It's 40. He asked me for 40 altogether. The first time he said he needed money for...
Mr. Benson, you're tripping all over yourself, sir. Look at me. You're tripping all over yourself, Tomas.
I'm very sorry. I'm very nervous.
Get unnervous, Mr. Benson.
It's very hard. Sorry.
He called you in your house on January 23rd and said, I need...
$20 first.
Okay. And you said...
Okay. I didn't ask him what he needed it for.
I didn't ask you. And then what did you do? Did you say, I'll meet you at my bank? Come over,
yeah. I said I'd meet him halfway there. Like, there's a street that we meet at, and then we head to my bank.
So you went to your bank on January 23rd and took out $20?
Yeah, just $20 first.
And you gave it to him?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then he called me later that evening and
Just a minute. Then he went home and you went home?
Yeah. And we went home.
Go ahead.
And then he called me later that evening saying he needed another $20. And so I said, all right, but that's kind of a lot of money that I'm lending to you. Could you pay me interest on it or something? And he agreed $10 interest, which would make it $50. And that was our agreement. And the way he was going to pay me back was getting a check from his grandma with an amount of $250 later that week. He was supposed to be getting this check. So then we agreed that I would cash this check through my bank. Then afterwards, I waited till for...
Look at me. Don't look there.
I'm sorry. So then I was going to wait for a call from him. And then I finally got the call on February 2nd, Wednesday. And he said that he finally got his check from his grandma. And we'd met up. And we headed to my bank. And I looked at the check. And it was in the amount of $250. I signed my name to pay to the order of Tomas Benson. I have all this information right here. I have all this evidence.
I didn't ask you for anything. I asked you to tell me the story.
All right, we headed to my bank. I had looked at the check, seen that it was in the right amount.
You told me about that already.
Yeah, and then I put it in the envelope, put it on the ledge, grabbed my wallet to get my bank card out to the bank, put it in the machine, typed in the amount, $250 deposit, and sometime between that time, I believe that he had switched the envelope. He had took an envelope with the check in it, and he...
Don't tell me what you believe, sir. I'm not interested what you believe.
But, yeah, I put it on the ledge. I typed in that I would deposit it.
You told me that already.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you.
Don't tell me again. I have a very good memory.
Then I put the envelope into the bank, and then I withdrew $200 from my own account, and I gave it to him then because I thought the $50 was supposed to be mine, and then I'd give him $200 out of my own bank to make it even. And then afterwards, we just parted ways.
Subsequently, you advised that they had no envelope, they had no check, they had no nothing, and your bank account became overdrawn. Is that right?
No, I had money in my account. Okay,
but you were advised then that the account never was credited with $250 in that check. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you thought that was a big scam. Mr. Benson, after you gave him the $200 in cash, where did you go?
Back to my house.
Where did he go?
I'm not very sure.
Okay, go. Let's start with January 23rd with the two $20 bills.
That's not true. He never loaned me $20 2 times. That's not true at all.
I
Okay.
have statements here.
You don't have a bank statement showing that you lent him $20 twice? You have a bank
but I
statement
have
that they withdrew $20?
2 withdrawals for the amount of $20.
So what? He says you never lent him any money.
Well,
That's
I can
what it
show you
says.
my bank statements here. They show there's 2 transactions on that day.
I believe that there were 2 transactions on that day, sir.
Could I
But
show
you have no proof. I believe that there were 2 transactions on January 23rd. There is absolutely nothing to suggest that those 2 transactions had anything to do with him, other than your testimony. Is that right? Is that right?
I guess, yes.
Good. Go ahead.
Okay, on January 27th, when he did pull up the $200, we both split the $200 with that. I was supposed to, in interest, I was supposed to give him $50 later for it.
Just a second. You're getting ahead of yourself, Daniel. On the 27th, what happened?
Okay, me and Thomas met up. We had an idea. We were going to go deposit a slip with no check in it. We both knew what we were doing.
Just a second. On the 27th, you were going to deposit a slip.
Yes.
Just a deposit slip.
Yes.
Whose idea was this?
It was both of ours.
So you were going to put in just a deposit slip with no check.
Yes.
Draw out $200, but you would owe him $150. $50 of that was interest.
Yes. Which I would have to pay later.
What made you and the defendant get together with this little scheme?
Because we wanted money to go out and party that night.
What night?
That night that we did it. I'm not quite sure what day it was, February 2nd, I guess.
Did you go out afterwards?
Yes.
The 2 of you?
Yes.
Where did you go?
Just to people's houses and stuff.
Well, what'd you need money for?
To buy stuff.
Drugs?
Out and party. No, not drugs.
What?
Alcohol.
Did you go to mutual friends' houses? Look at me. Did you go to mutual friends' houses?
Yes and no.
What do you mean yes and no?
Well, I didn't know some of the people. We went over to somebody else's house I didn't know. We went over to one of my buddies' house that we both knew.
What's his name?
Josh.
Your Honor, I was barred from the premises of Cherry Park Apartments, so I could not go over to Joshua's
Why were you
house.
barred from there?
Because of an incident with my brother.
No. He got kicked out because they found out that he was dealing
Dealing what?
drugs.
No, I had actually been barred because I had a fight with my older brother who also lived in the apartments.
Tomas, if something doesn't make sense, it's usually not true.
What is it that doesn't make sense?
Your slick story. Now, Daniel, at first when this scam was discovered, what did you tell your parents?
I didn't tell them anything about it at first. I just thought that the less they knew, the better, I guess, at the time. I knew I did something wrong. I didn't really want to fess up to it at the time, but now I think it's the right time. I shouldn't be blamed for everything. We did it 50-50. I'm admitting that we both did it and it was wrong, but I don't want to be the only one to blame.
Okay.
And another thing here.
Is that a police report?
Oh, yes, it is.
Can I see it, please?
And here's the case suit, which here, I'll show you both of them.
Miss Benson, is your son on probation?
No, he's not.
Had he been?
No.
You hesitated there for a moment.
He is going to LifeWorks program that he's going because he had a drug and alcohol problem.
When did he start it?
Uh,
You can stand up now.
he started, I think, in January of this year, I believe it was.
Miss Benson, when did you find out about this money?
Right after the incident happened.
Well, tell me about how you found out about it.
I had found out because Thomas had gotten a letter in the mail saying that there wasn't a check in the envelope. And so he had come to me and told me he was very furious. And then he had made contact with the bank to find out what happened. He wanted an investigation.
So the first you found out about it was when your son came to you
Yes.
and showed you what?
Showed me the letter he'd gotten from the bank.
Which is right here.
Yeah, I believe that there was nothing in the envelope.
And I would have no reason to put a fake deposit slip in there because I had money in the bank already. If I really wanted to party, I can just pull money out of my bank and it'd be no problem.
Who handles this account for him?
He does.
I know.
How old was he when you let him start to take care of this money?
He started working when he was about 15, and he's really good with his money, very tight-fisted, and that's what I don't understand.
Well, he's not so tight-fisted if he was using some of his money for illegal things.
That is true.
Yeah, that's part of
However, I mean, when this incident happened, there would be no reason for him to put a fake deposit slip in there. If he already had money in there, all he had to do was just go out and pull it out.
That's true.
And they cut
That's the only thing that I find troubling. Stand up. The only thing that I find troubling, quite frankly, is if this was his mother's bank account, or one that was a joint bank account, and they had, in fact, his mother of the money,
Right.
I could understand he would stick to his story. But this was his money. If he was going to take money out of that account to split to go partying, he can do that.
Yeah, we're not denying the whole story. I'm saying the whole thing sounds fishy to me.
Well, it does sound fishy to me, but the question that I have to ask myself, why would Mr. Benson get this letter from the bank on February 2nd that says there was no check in this deposit envelope and take it to show his mother?
I have no idea.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me
Because if
either.
what he wanted to do was take out $200 and go partying with his friend, he would have done that. So why would he do this?
I have
Can
no
you think
idea.
of a reason?
Well, we weren't exactly both sober at the time either. We were the influence of alcohol, too.
You were.
Yes.
If you were under the influence of alcohol, why would he make up this story about a check and an envelope? Where had you been drinking?
Or we just walking around and stuff around town.
We hadn't been drinking. I wasn't drinking at all.
Well, first, when this whole thing started, they did come over to our house, and I was in the other room, and my husband was asking Thomas about this check, and he said that there was a check. My husband asked, okay, what was the color of it? Do you remember whose name was on it? What is the extra $50 for? And he said he was charging him $50 for cashing a check. And my husband asked him, why would you charge somebody $50 for cashing a check? I'm not, if these boys both did something, I didn't have a problem of paying the money back. I just wanted to come down to the bottom of the truth. And that's why I feel like we're here today.
Well, as I said to you, my problem is, why would he go to his mother
Exactly.
if he was complicit in this incident?
I have no idea.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
And if it doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. Listen, the bank says there was no check enclosed as a result. We've debited your account. Due to the nature of this transaction, we have disabled your ATM card to ensure that nobody is going to use it, but you can get another ATM card. If
Actually, they would not reissue me a card.
They cut it up right there.
Yeah.
and they won't give you another one?
No.
They were very sorry they had to do it because
And I was
he had built
very
a report
embarrassed
with
and
them.
humiliated because I would never defraud my bank. I knew everybody there very well, and I was very responsible with my money. I budgeted very well.
Well, that's not true. You bought some drugs with your money.
Every now and then.
What?
Every now and then, but...
Right. So that's not 100% accurate, right?
Well, compared to other people my age, I believe. Because a lot of people my age don't have bank accounts, don't have as much money as I did.
Miss Benson, he's very slick. He really is. He's very slick. I'm not sure, and I'm not convinced.
Well, I don't think he would have gone through all this trouble. I mean,
Unless
making a police report.
He just gave me a reason. When did they cut up your bank card?
A few days after I received that letter, though.
Few days. Just listen to me carefully. When did you make a police report?
It was April 3rd or 4th.
After they cut up your bank card.
Yeah.
April
It was
13th.
after they cut up my bank card.
Oh, that's a reason. That's a reason.
We tried to contact them. We were told by the officer that took the report to contact the family that it was a civil matter, and our phone number was blocked.
I don't care. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about whether your son was aware of the fact that there was nothing in this deposit slip that the two boys brought to the bank in order
I
to...
did not know that. I thought...
Listen! That's my job to figure out. He gave me a perfectly cogent story. You did not give me a perfectly cogent story. I'm still not comfortable that you were actually part of it. But I'm not comfortable enough, quite frankly, Mr. Benson, of $20 here and $20 there and another $10 in interest, making it $50. I don't know what it was about. Maybe it was drug money. Maybe he was selling you something. Who knows? I'm not comfortable with your whole story. I'm also not comfortable with saying to you that you were part of the scheme. That's not what I have to determine today. What I have to determine today is whether or not they're going to pay you either all or half of what came out of your bank. And since what you're asking me for is to make a determination that the Nailers owe you $250, I'm not prepared to do that because I'm not totally comfortable with your story.
Ma'am,
What?
it's 200, not 250.
Thank you for correcting me, sir. What difference does it make?
That's correct. What difference does it make?
Right.
My son had also asked.
So there's no further issue. I'm not prepared to rule that you are entitled to $200 from the defendant because I'm not totally comfortable with your story, Tomas.
All right. Can I show you some emails that I'd sent him beginning March 27th?
No, show me
22nd?
emails that he sent to you.
Well,
They're answering them right here.
Does he acknowledge that he owes you the
Yes.
money?
Yes.
Let me take a look at it.
This began March.
Hand them all.
This was on the.
Shh. See these emails?
No.
I have more right here.
Yeah, I
too.
also have more right here.
Continuation
see
of all
them.
that.
What's that all about, sir?
These aren't even from me.
Yeah, they are from you. What do you think about that, sir?
They're not. Seriously, they're not from me.
Who's Rob's dad?
Robert was his next door neighbor.
And what kind of work does he do for Rob's dad?
Who? I'm sorry,
Your
who?
son.
He does. They can do yard work for him.
And has he done that in the past?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it says there. I'm doing work for Rob's dad.
Yeah, but I didn't write most of this.
Couldn't have made it up.
Shh. Got it? Look at me, Mr. and Mrs. Naylor. Now you got it?
Yeah, I understand. I just don't understand about the check. This is what the whole weird thing is.
Listen, I don't understand about the checks either. I don't. And I'm not certain whether Tomas is talking about $100 or $200, because nowhere in there does it say how much you think he owes you, because according to him, he acknowledges he owes you $100, right?
Yes.
But not $200.
No. I asked for another check, actually.
Well, why would you ask for another check? If he didn't have a good check the first time, why would he give you a good check the second time from his grandmother?
I know.
Interesting. And you did write that, Daniel.
Not all of it, though.
Daniel!
Daniel, just tell the truth. If you did
Yeah,
it wrong.
not all of it, though. I'm telling you, but yeah.
So you acknowledged you owed him some money.
Yes.
Yes.
And you acknowledged that you had a job and that you were going to get him some money.
Yes.
The question is 100 or 200. Is that it?
It's 100.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $100. That's all.
Victoria Klaus says former tenant Kelly Stafford moved out owing for rent. Victoria also claims Kelly vandalized the home.
Miss Klaus, you own a rental property, and the defendant was a tenant of yours for, according to your complaint, about 5 years.
Yes, she was a former friend first and then tenant.
But she was a paying tenant for 5 years. What was the rent on the house?
$630 a month.
Nope. No.
What was the rent?
It started out at $590, and then it went up halfway through the 5 years to $620.
Well, that's not much of an increase over the course of 5 years. It is your claim that when she left, she owed you some rent, and also that when you went there after she moved out, the place was a disaster.
Yes.
Costing thousands of dollars in renovations.
Yep.
Ms. Stafford says that she left in mid-April of this past year. She, in fact, gave you rent for half the month of April in cash, and that she left the house in fine condition. She doesn't know what happened, but certainly she left the house in fine condition. When did you pay your rent, Ms. Stafford? At the beginning of each month?
Yeah.
That's not true, Your
Just
Honor.
a second. Don't interrupt when I'm asking her questions. And you paid, according to you, in the last part of the tenancy, $620 a month.
Yes.
How much money did you give Ms. Klaus for April?
$310.
Well, you can't do that.
Okay.
You have to pay for a month's rent. If you choose to move out in the middle of the month, that's your prerogative. But you can't pay for a certain number of days unless you have a previous agreement to do that.
And we did. We talked at the end of March. I told her that I would be moving on the 15th, and she said, "You're kind of leaving me in a jam. That's not fair."
She's absolutely right.
Right. And I told her, and I said,
Well, she's
there's
absolutely
nothing
right.
I can
You
do.
won't
I
believe
said, I
it.
can do
Shh,
what
I'm speaking. Don't speak over me. You told her at the end of March you were going to be moving out April 15th, so you gave her no notice.
There was no lease.
But you gave her no notice after 5. Okay. So let us say I believe you that you gave her $300 in cash. Did she give you $300 in cash?
Yep.
Then you owe her $320.
I gave her $310
Okay, then you owe her $310
already.
because you can't dictate to her that you're going to be moving out at the middle of the month and you only owe half a month's rent. You owe the entire month's rent.
Okay, because she told me that she agreed to that. That would be fine.
I don't believe that at all. I didn't even have to ask her.
Okay.
Once she says you're leaving me in a lurch by giving me no notice at the end of March, she's not going to say, well, I'm going to be real nice to you. You only have to pay me for half a month.
Okay.
Try to play it straight with me, Miss Stafford. I'll be much more amenable to listening to what you have to say about the destruction of the house if you don't fib at the very beginning.
I'm not fibbing.
Yeah, sure you are. Because something doesn't make sense, it's not true. Okay. And if you call a landlord, but you've been a rent-paying customer for 5 years, and you say, I'm not giving you any notice, I'm not giving you 30 days notice, I'm not giving you 60 days notice, I'm moving out in 2 weeks. And the landlord says to you, gee, that's really not nice of you after all this time. I've been very good to you. I've given you minimal rent increases over the course of the 5 years. You know, you could have at least given me an extra 30 days notice. You're not giving me any notice. And then she's going to turn around and say to you, and you only have to pay me $310. Ridiculous.
Your Honor, she came to me in the beginning of March and told me that she would be selling the house. That's when I started looking for a place to live because I didn't want to be left out without a place to live.
Listen to what you're saying to me. She gave you notice the beginning of March that she will be selling the house. Not that she sold it and you have to be out in 2 weeks. So start to prepare yourself.
Absolutely, and I did. And I asked her how long it takes to sell a house. She said, I will be doing it through a paper where he would be paying my mortgage, and then at the end I will just sign the house over to him. It wasn't going to be through a whole real estate or nothing like that.
Did she give you an answer about how long it would take?
No, she did not.
Oh, okay. All right, so now we have $310 that she owes for the month of April. Now, what date did you move out, Miss Stafford?
The 15th.
4/15. And you say you left the house in good condition?
I did.
Okay. When did you go to the house?
I went there on Tuesday, the 19th.
You moved out on the 15th. On the 19th, tell me what you saw.
Well, first, can I just step back 2 days? On April 14th at 7:30, we still had not received any rent at all from them. I sent my husband over there at 7:30 at night. She opened up the door to him. He asked her for the rent. She said his exact words were, I'm not sure if I'm paying you. I'll have to wait and talk to my husband because she's mad over whatever rumors she heard, and shut the door in his face. I went there the next day on Saturday to ask for the rent because she said she would only deal with me, not my husband. I went there, and that is when we got into the discussion of why she said she was upset about some rumors that she had heard at a diner that I was working at, and that's why she wouldn't pay me. And I said to her, I said, you can't just get mad at me over rumors, and I'm not going to get into any of that. This is between me and you. The diner is completely separate. I said, I'm not telling you have to move right away. You know, it's going to be 3 months. By the end of this conversation, it lasted almost 2 hours.
You were in the house?
No, she came outside. She was very, very angry, and I could tell she did not want me inside. But by the end of this conversation, she promised me, she looked me face to face and promised me she would give me 30 days notice and that she would give me the full month's rent. And I never heard from her again until I knew the property was empty. When the property was empty and the cops were there is when I said to her...
What date was that?
The cops were there on the 4/18.
On the 18th?
Yep.
And Miss Stafford was there?
She wasn't there at first when they got there. I was there. I had noticed the damage, all the disgusting stuff that was done inside the house.
So you were actually inside the house on the 18th, not the 19th?
Right. I was inside the house on the 18th. That's what the police report is for.
Okay.
And I went in and I saw all the damage, and first thing I did was call the cops for a police report because the place was...
Can I see it?
...completely trashed. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Okay, so she did, in fact, pay the $310.
Right.
Because that's what she told the police they would do, and she also agreed to clean up the mess,
right,
according to the police. Okay, did she clean up the mess?
No, she didn't. She had told me that she would come the next day. On Wednesday, she got out of work at, I believe it was 5 or 6. She said she would come over then and help me herself clean it. I said, okay, I'll be over here cleaning anyway. Go ahead and come over. Well, she never came, never showed. I didn't go home till I think like 6:30. She called me and said that she wouldn't be able to come because she had car trouble. I said, okay, you know what, if you want to call me another day, I'll gladly go back over there with you. I don't want anybody there now while I'm not there because of what's already been done. I don't trust anyone else there. But I will go back over there with you whenever you want to clean. And I have not heard from her since to do it.
Do you have photographs of what
Yes,
the
I
place
do.
looked
I have
like?
photographs, I have estimates, I have a video.
First, let's take a look at the photographs.
Would you like the video too?
In a minute. Would you show these to the defendant, please?
It's funny.
I'm not finding any of it funny.
Go ahead.
all these attic pictures and all these basement pictures. Yes, maybe some of these are stuff that was left from behind.
I'm talking about the refrigerator, the garbage.
No, we put the garbage out. A lot of this stuff came from the attic that her brother destroyed, and it was from a ton of stuff was left up in the attic that I couldn't even use.
I'm not talking about the attic. Let's
Okay.
not talk
Well,
about the
that's
attic. Let's talk
pictures
about
of
the
this.
kitchen. Let's talk about the stove.
The stove wasn't hers, and it was broken. She knew it was broken.
What about the garbage?
The garbage is not all mine.
Whose is it?
Which came from the upstairs in the basement that she packed
to me.
up. Are you kidding me?
You said when
Shh. Refrigerator in the freezer?
No. No.
Food in the refrigerator and the freezer was yours.
Yeah.
The dirty stove inside was
There was
you.
a
Shh, listen to me. The stove was used by you for 5 years?
No, it was broken.
So you didn't have a stove for 5 years?
No, not the oven part. The top of it worked, yes. There was a fire at the bottom of it.
When you say that somebody else's stuff was in the basement, whose stuff was in the basement?
Her brother had lived there previously before I did. There was stuff in the basement from him, all of his
That you
leftover
left
stuff.
there,
and
just a
his-
second, that you left there for 5 years?
She brought a dumpster over there and we did clean out. I helped her personally clean out a ton of it, but yes, there was still some left in there.
And so what you're telling me is this mess down here was her brother's stuff that had been there for 5 years?
Absolutely.
Okay, can I see the video, please?
The water on the basement floor is from our washing machine being moved. That I can admit to.
that's not
But-
true either. Your Honor, that is where there was a carpet and it was so badly contaminated with urine from cat smell that I had to replace it, and egg yolk that someone egged and candle waxed the inside of the entire house, up and down all the walls. That stove that was not the same stove that was in there. I've gotten her 2 stoves since then and 2 refrigerators. That one she chose to have because her father gave her it. That's a busted out window in the kitchen, busted out one in the back door, which she said her son put his hand through when he was running through the house.
No, I said my son accidentally bumped into when he
Well,
was
your
running
son
into
did
the house.
whatever he did.
He accidentally hit it, and I told you that 3 years ago, and you said you would fix it.
Why didn't you fix it?
She told me she would do.
And why didn't you fix it?
That's exactly why I didn't, because she told me it was her son.
I'm asking a question. So if your son did it, so why didn't you fix it?
This is graffiti that is written all over the garage by her husband and his band, complaining about neighbors because the cops were called several times due to complaints.
Well, you
of
don't know who
noise.
wrote it.
Well, it's got their names on it.
We didn't do that, Your Honor.
Do you think she did it to her own property?
No, I don't believe that she did it to her own property. And she also told me that she didn't believe that I did it either. And she told me that I was the last one there, so I was the one that she was going to blame because I had no proof that it was anybody else. So I took pictures. There was broken windows as well, pictures of the house that she promised to put siding and to paint. I've lived there for 5 years and she's done nothing.
We're not talking about whether you chose to stay at a place that didn't have new siding for $600
Exactly.
a month. Listen to me quietly. Is what you're saying that the destruction to the house was between the time you moved your things out and the couple of days and she saw it?
Yes.
Well, how do you think somebody got in there?
I believe through the broken window.
You do?
Yes, I do.
You do. That's your responsibility. You should have fixed the broken window.
No, just not that window. The window on the side. Not the one from the door. The window on the side of the house. That I can...
Is what you're telling me, madam, that you lived there for 5 years and nobody vandalized the house, but in 2 days after you moved out, somebody chose those 2 days to come in and do all those things to the house? Is that what you're suggesting to me?
I am. And my mom was there to clean on Easter Sunday, and she cleaned the whole place with my husband. She did all the cleaning. And when I went in there on Tuesday...
She didn't do a good job.
Well, I went in there on Tuesday and
You didn't do a good job of cleaning.
I didn't do a perfect job, Your Honor, but the garbage was out, the eggs were not there, the other things that Vicki is claiming, such as, excuse me, I'll stand, such as the ceiling fan being broken and everything else, that was not there at the time. Maybe I didn't do a perfect job cleaning. It's not my responsibility to clean up after my daughter. I keep my own place clean. But the destruction itself was not there. Some of the more destructive things were not there, okay? That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she didn't do it. Maybe her did it. I don't know who did it.
I don't either.
But it was done during her tenancy because she was there during the month of April. During the month of April, she is responsible for the house. She was responsible for paying rent for starting April 1st in the amount of $620, and she was responsible to see to it that the house was kept in a reasonable state. Now, who is this person over here?
This is the neighbor that
lives across the street from where Kelly resided. When I went in and I saw how much damage was done, I was very distraught. I came out, I was on my cell phone. I called the cops, was back and forth. She was on her way out to work at the same time. She used to live there when I lived there. And she came over and she said to me, Vicki, what's going on?
Okay, step up. Tell me your name.
Jacqueline Bergen.
Ms. Bergen, what do you know about the condition of the house on or about the 15th to the 18th of April?
Well, over the weekend of the 15th, Kelly and her husband and them did move out of the home. On Tuesday, it was probably approximately about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was backing out of my driveway.
Tuesday is what date?
April 17th, I believe it is.
Okay.
And I was backing out of my driveway, and I had seen Vicki over there in the driveway. She was walking up and down the driveway. She had her cell phone. And I had gone over and I said, hey, Vic, I see your tenants had moved out over the weekend. So Vicki had asked me, she goes, did you see the damage to the house? I says, no. She goes, will you come in with me? I said, sure. And I walked through the whole house with her. She used to have a stepdaughter that lived there. And her,
who?
Kelly. And my daughter and her daughter used to hang out. Her daughter's name was Brianna. And a lot of that stuff in that attic belonged to Brianna. We found shoes that had Brianna's name written down the side of them. School papers. There was pictures in the attic of Kelly and Chuck. There was CDs from the band that her husband had upstairs in the attic.
And this was on the 17th?
On the 17th. And I'm the one that went through and took pictures with Vicki. And then on the back porch, which there is a picture of, she says all the garbage was removed. It might have been removed out of the house, but it was put onto the back porch and left there. There's empty Budweiser boxes, there's bags of trash. And then on Wednesday, me and another girl and Vicki were all over there cleaning, and then that's when Alta came over too and started in with the cleaning. And she said that Kelly would be back that night to help us. And Kelly has not been over there since.
Okay, thank you.
Judge Judy?
Yeah.
I did call her and tell her that I would like to give her her keys back and do the walkthrough. I leave her a message.
What date?
This would be on Monday because Sunday was
Date?
Easter. 17th?
16th. But she said the 17th was Tuesday.
No, 17th was Monday.
17th was Monday. So on the 17th, you wanted to do a walkthrough, but you hadn't taken
I called her. No, I
garbage.
had called her. I had my mom and my husband was over there on Sunday, on Easter Sunday, taking the garbage out. The garbage was to be picked up on Monday morning. I don't know if I was not there. So I don't know if all the garbage had made it out on Monday morning. I called her and left her a message. She called me back and left a nasty message on my phone on Tuesday saying that the cops were there and everything, and I can play it if...
I don't need it.
Okay.
At least some of the stuff that was upstairs in the attic belonged to Brianna. It belonged to her brother. It didn't belong to any of her relatives. I believe her. She has absolutely
And
no...
her son, spent the night in my house every weekend. He can contest that. She knows that my house was not dirty, and I was...
Listen to me. I think that you left the house a mess.
Okay.
I think that there was a lot of messy stuff left there. And I also think that either you, your son, your husband, or whatever did some nasty writing on the wall. There's no question in my mind that that happened. Now, that isn't worth thousands of dollars. That's worth a good cleanup. And if you had, at the time of your tenancy, had a security deposit, that security deposit probably, or should have been, something like 2 months' rent.
Right.
So at the time that you started, your rent was $590. Is that right?
Yes.
$1,180 plus the $320 that you owe her.
Your Honor, if I may show you just estimates as to what the damage
Listen
exactly
to me.
is.
When you rent a house to somebody, you have a responsibility. Your responsibility is to see to it ongoing that there isn't the kind of damage that you claim exists over 5 years. Okay. And you're not going to wait until the end of the tenancy and say, I want new carpeting, I want new appliances, I want the place freshly painted. You have to do that. That's what an owner does to their property. But certainly someone who leaves the apartment should leave it broom swept, clean, and in reasonable condition. I'm not talking about new carpeting, cleaning the carpeting, doing anything like that. And you have to be a little vigilant, because if what you say is that she was a friend of yours, you should have been in that house more frequently at the end of every year to see to it what was done. And you can't tell me now, after 5 years, that you want a whole redo on your house, but you're entitled to have it left clean. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. That's all, Steph.
Christine Paget says ex-boyfriend Owen Plaster owes for the return of money paid toward his rent and bills. Owen is countersuing, claiming Christine vandalized his apartment.
Ms. Paget, how long were you and Mr. Plaster involved in a relationship?
About 8 years.
And for what period of those 8 years did you live together?
We lived together most of them, but because of our work, we traveled a lot. So a lot of times I was in New York, but we shared the house in Phoenix.
Okay. When was the house in Phoenix purchased?
1997.
And you were living together at the time?
Yes.
Did you move into the house together?
Yes.
House was in your name?
Yes.
And both of you were working?
Yes.
So finances were not an issue when you lived together?
No.
All right. This is your case, Miss Paget. After this on-again, off-again relationship, it was on for 8 years and then it was off for a while. And then the two of you, according to what I read, tried to rekindle the relationship, and you had sold the house.
Yes.
And Mr. Plaster took an apartment. According to you, you didn't want to be bothered with paying half of the rent monthly, so that you prepaid the entire year of 14 months lease to Mr. Plaster so that you didn't have to be bothered.
Exactly.
And shortly after you gave him this check, Mr. Plaster advised you that he had somebody else and he wanted you out.
Yes.
So you want that money back.
Correct.
Mr. Plaster says that that money was not for half the rent. Mr. Plaster says that the two of you had an agreement during the time that you moved into this house together, that he contributed to the house, including the mortgage payment while he was living there, something that you agree with, and that you had an agreement that when the house was sold, you would split whatever increased equity there was during the time that you were living together, since he was, in fact, reducing the mortgage with his mortgage payment and paying half the bills on the house, so that what you were really doing when you gave him this check was keeping your promise to give him some of the equity in the house. That's your defense.
Yes.
And you have a counterclaim because you say that when she did move out, she did some vandalizing in the house and took some property that was actually yours. You want that property back and you want some compensation for the vandalism. In 1997, Miss Paget, when you purchased the house, what did you purchase the house for? You remember the purchase?
$108,000.
And what did you sell it for?
I sold it for $236,000.
When did you sell it?
October 2005.
And when did you give Mr. Plaster this check for the rent?
Well, actually, it was bank transfers from my bank account into his bank account. When we decided to rent this apartment, and
just tell me, what date did you give him the check?
I deposited money on 10/11
05
for $6,000, and then on 10/24 for another $1,000.
Also in October of 2005. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, I assume that when you lived together for these 8 years, you had some sort of a discussion about what was going to happen with the equity in the house.
Absolutely.
And what was the discussion?
Exactly right, as you said. However, the important part of that story that was left out was that he moved out of the house in January 2005. Had he stayed with me till October 2005, I probably would have honored that agreement. But at the time when he moved out to move in with a friend of his, I asked him, because he was already living in another bedroom, and I had asked him to please stay on as a roommate, help me sell the house. I didn't have a job at the time. You know, you're putting me in dire straits if you move out. Stay with me. Let's get the house sold. Your daughter's getting married. We can take care of this. I said, if you leave, you're not getting nothing, because you're leaving me in dire straits, and I have to maintain the residence for 10 months until I sold it by myself with no job. I had to get roommates to help me, organize.
Well, I understand your problem, Miss Paget. However, you cannot unilaterally change what you told me you had. You had a contract with Mr. Plaster that seems perfectly reasonable to me, that since the two of you had a financial arrangement where each of you was contributing to this household and reducing the mortgage, you were living together as a family, it is perfectly reasonable to have had the contract that you acknowledged that you had, that when and if the house was sold, you would give him, because he had been paying into the house, a portion of the profit from the house.
Yes.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yes.
Now, the fact that he decided to move out and you said to him, if you move out, I'm not going to honor that contract, doesn't mean that that happens. Unless he says, well, fine, I'm moving out anyway, and I agree that you don't have to honor the contract. But that's not what happened.
That is what happened.
No. No, that's not what you told me.
No, that
you
is what
told me.
happened.
Now, listen to me. What you told me was, you said to him, if you move out,
right,
I'm not going to honor our agreement.
And he agreed.
And you said he moved out anyway.
Right.
Well, that's not agreeing with you, madam. He just left. That's not saying I agree that you don't have to honor the contract. He just says, I'm leaving anyway. So while he does not have a counterclaim for that, I am finding that the money that you gave him was for the contract that you had with him for the 8 years that you lived together in this house that you sold, and that you sold for a substantial profit. You more than doubled your money. He paid down the mortgage, and he should be entitled to a portion of that. So, has he sued you on the contract that you had to give him half the profits of the house?
No.
Well, he should.
Because it was agreed that we didn't.
No. Listen to me. I don't believe that at all. And I'm telling you that if he doesn't sue you for half the profits on the house, consider yourself really lucky that I'm speaking. Consider yourself, Miss Paget, really lucky. Because if he sued you in a court where I was sitting that had a much higher jurisdiction than the $5,000 I have, I would find that you had a contract with him that he fulfilled by contributing to the house for the 8 years that you lived together, and that you cannot unilaterally breach that contract because you didn't want him to leave and leave you in the lurch for 10 months. I might do something equitable like cutting 10 months worth of the mortgage payments out and carving that out of his share of the profits. But I'm telling you right now, for the $6,000 that you gave him, you got away with a bargain. I wouldn't complain. Now I'm going to hear your counterclaim. Go ahead.
This is a case of a woman scorn.
Listen, don't tell me what it's about, sir. Don't tell me what a case is about, sir. I'm asking you whether you have a legitimate counterclaim that you want me to hear, or whether you just want to forget it.
Well, once I let her know that I was seeing someone else, she came to get her things, and I gave her a few days in the apartment to get her stuff out. And when I returned, I've got photographs of the vandalism.
I'd like to see the photographs, Bert, please.
And I've got lots of notes that were left and taped on the walls, just crazy things all over the place. Doors were written on, mirrors were written on, photographs stapled to the walls, photographs torn up, my guitars and other property just thrown everywhere. All of my things that were in boxes were dumped in bathtubs and in closet floors, along with half-eaten hamburgers and just
She was
trash.
very angry.
She was very angry.
Are you still in that apartment?
Yes.
How much did it cost you to clean it up?
It was very difficult to clean it up.
My question was, I saw the pictures, sir. How much did it cost you to clean up the apartment?
Nothing. Just my own time.
So it took your time. Show these photographs to the plaintiff, please. Mr. Plaster, just for my own information, sir, why did you allow Miss Paget to move her things into the apartment if you were seeing someone else?
I started seeing someone else after her things were in the apartment.
Not before?
Correct. We moved into the apartment, but she moved to New Jersey, so she only stayed a few days in the apartment at all.
Well, she was sort of hoping that things would work out between you, I assume, which is why she moved her things into the apartment. She didn't move into the apartment for storage purposes. Why'd you trash the apartment?
Because he just didn't face me. And I just would like to say something about the mortgage. He did not contribute to the mortgage every month.
Miss Paget,
He didn't.
Paget, I got the information from the two of you before I started to hear your case. And that was that the two of you lived together peacefully for 8 years. You seem like an intelligent woman. You both worked. According to the both of you, each of you contributed to the running of the household, and that money was never an issue. And being an intelligent woman, myself, I have to assume that if he wasn't paying his fair share of the house, you wouldn't have kept him around for 8 years. What I'm telling you is the law says just because you say the agreement is over doesn't make it over.
But he moved out.
I don't care whether he moved out. Miss Paget, I'm going to try one more time, and then I'm not going to hear any more from you. Let us say he wasn't ready to move out of the house, but you were ready to sell it. Do you think you could have sold the house without his permission?
Absolutely.
Of course, because the house is in your name.
Correct.
He's not a slave. He can move if he wants to. That doesn't mean that when you sell the house, he's not entitled to, up until the time he moved out, a portion of the increase in the value of the house, because that was your agreement. Now, you have no right to do what you did here, and he has to be compensated for that, even his time.
I paid for the security deposit on the apartment and all the first month's rent.
No, just a second. In addition to the $6,000 that you gave him, you wrote a check right out to the landlord?
Yes.
How much?
Well, the monthly rent was $1,100 and something a
So it was
month.
at least $1,100.
So it was at least $1,100
Okay,
plus
now
security
is that,
deposit was.
Is that in addition to the $6,000?
Yes.
Well, then, sir, you can use that $1,100, but you're going to get back to clean up the apartment. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. It's over. Goodbye.
Michelle Compton is suing her former roommate, 21-year-old Jamie Klein, for damaging her car when she backed out of their driveway.
This is the boyfriend.
Yes.
You used to be the roommate of the defendant, is that right?
Yes.
And these two people were roommates while you and your boyfriend were together?
Yes.
Was there anybody else living in the apartment? Or just the two of you?
Just us two.
The two of you?
Yep.
Did you ever live there?
No.
Did you stay there?
Yes, I did.
How frequently?
I would stay probably the whole month, other than 2 or 3 nights. I'd go spend the night at my mom's or my friend's.
So you were there full time?
Yes.
From when to when?
From when Adam told me he got the house with Jamie, and then from the day we left.
Well, give me the dates. I don't know that. I don't have a crystal ball.
September 1st to, I think, March 18th, May 18th, something like that.
So you were there all that time?
Yes.
How did you split the bills?
When moving in, I worked at Meijer. I only made about $105 a week, and I had other bills to pay. And I told Adam that I don't have any money to pay any bills, and that if he does want me to stay with him, he knows that he is paying it, and he said that's
Miss
fine.
Klein,
Yeah.
how did you split the rent?
Well, we first on the agreement was just me and Adam, and then when he said she was moving in, I even asked her. I said, well, we need to split it through. Well, I'm working at Myers right now.
She did not ask me that.
Don't speak.
She said...
Just a minute. Just ask me. You split it 2 ways?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She has a counterclaim that I'll get to in a minute. Okay. It is your claim that Miss Klein damaged your car while backing out of the driveway.
Yep.
And you want her to pay for the damage to your car.
Yes,
That's
I
what
do.
your lawsuit is about, $1,700. Miss Klein says you shouldn't have blocked her car. And that was your habit. So she nicked it a little bit, and she's sorry, right? You can't hit her car.
You're right, but I went up there and asked her 3 times to move her car. She
What
didn't
date
come-
was that?
I do believe it was the 16th of April.
Of what?
Of March.
So right before you all went your own way.
Yep.
Why didn't you move the car?
She did not ask me to move the car. Adam asked me if I would clean the room while he's at work, so I was in the room cleaning with the music on. And she never entered the room and asked me to move my car.
And I knocked on the door.
No, she did
every
not.
time and said, I need to go take kids to school. I need you to move your car. She didn't come out of the room.
Who were you going to take to school?
I have a daycare, so I had to take the kids to school.
So she didn't move the car, so you hit it.
Yep, well, I tried backing out myself, and then I hit it, and then I went upstairs, and I told her about it, and I said, I gotta go take kids to school, so when I come back, I'll give you my insurance. I come back, and she's gone. So then I go back to work. About 20 minutes later, I come back to see if she's there, and the police are there. So she left and came back, and then I gave her all my insurance and all that stuff.
So what happened with the insurance?
I called my dad and asked him. He called the insurance agency, and they said because it was on private property that they will not do anything.
Well, that's not true. That's baloney. Let me see a letter from the insurance company.
I didn't get one, Your Honor.
Well, you should have one, my dear. You can't rely on your dad. How old are you?
20.
Well, grown enough to live outside the home, you're old enough to be responsible. She has no right to hit your car. Shouldn't have blocked her.
The car was not blocked.
Well, clearly, it was more difficult to get out.
That's not
Yeah,
true. That's not right.
Well, if she hit your car, she of necessity had to hit your car
She
with
did
her
it on
car.
purpose.
Listen to me! When my mouth starts to move, yours doesn't.
Okay.
Nobody with half a brain uses their own car, which might very well be damaged if she hit her car
I have
with
pictures
your
of my
car.
car.
That's just stupid, and she's not stupid. The only thing she was stupid about is letting you live in this apartment for all those months rent-free and splitting the rent because you didn't have a job that paid you enough. You didn't have a job that paid you enough to pay rent, live at home. And if your boyfriend wanted to sleep with you, then he should have paid 2/3 and she paid 1/3. You got it?
Got it.
She doesn't have to pay for you the pleasure that you had to spending the night with her.
She had people spend the night also, Your Honor. It
We're
wasn't
not
just me
talking
over.
about spending the night. We're talking about...
She would have boys come and stay for months at a time.
Listen to me. We're not talking about spending the night. We're talking about living there. So, what you have to do is you have to call her insurance company. She's already acknowledged she hit your car. She had no right to hit your car, and our insurance company will pay for it. Easy. Now, let's get to your counterclaim. Unpaid rent. You had no agreement with her to pay rent. Forget the rent, okay? Bills. You should have had an agreement. You didn't have an agreement. Damage to and return of value of property. Now I'll hear that. Go.
I have some letters from some witnesses on some of these
I
things.
don't take letters from... listen to me. I don't take letters from witnesses. That's hearsay.
Okay. What she did couple times, she's hid my keys. So he had to take me to work one morning because my keys just came up missing, even though I put them on the table every day. When they moved out, I cleaned my whole house top to bottom, and I couldn't find them. Moved all my furniture, they're gone. And my contact case, one morning I woke up and I stuck my contact in my eye. It had alcohol in my contact case. So I had to go and order new contacts because my contacts were ruined because they were soaking alcohol. I got the police report on that. And then also, the day that they moved out, I went to the bank, came back, took my class ring and my ring off, put it on a little jewelry box that I have in the closet, and I come back about 2 or 3 hours later and it's gone. Them two are the only ones in the house. And I asked her, she didn't know what I was talking about. Well, my rings were there when I left. I come back and they're gone.
And how many people were in the house when you were gone?
When I left, it was just her and Adam.
Well, how do you know that there weren't other
Because
people?
my
I'm
boyfriend-
speaking. How do you know that there weren't other people in the house moving them out?
Because my boyfriend was there for
So your
about
boyfriend,
half an
just a
hour.
second. So your boyfriend was there.
For just a few minutes after I left.
So your boyfriend was there.
Yeah.
Who was with your boyfriend?
Nobody.
So now we know of 3 people that were in the house when you weren't there, right?
Right.
But your boyfriend was there, maybe with other people. I don't know that. Didn't work out. Never works out when 2 people live together and there are boyfriends and girlfriends. You damaged her car. You have to take responsibility for that. You have full insurance on your car, and you've given her your insurance? Fine. You have to use that.
Okay.
She has acknowledged responsibility. Hitting your car, it was a stationary vehicle. There's no question of fault. Her insurance company has to pay for it. And if they don't, and you have proof that for some reason they decline coverage, well, you can come back. But before you come to court just to get even a little bit, what you have to do is you have to go through the procedure so that you don't bother the judge. Do you understand? Goodbye.
Rachel Cooper says she was assaulted during a custody exchange by her daughter's great aunt, Felicia Lisa West. Felicia claims Rachel is an unfit mother and is countersuing also for assault.
Miss Cooper.
Yes.
Miss West is the paternal aunt of your baby.
Yes.
Who's the father of your baby?
He's sitting right there.
What's your name?
Thomas Robinson.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Is this your only child?
Yes.
And since he's sitting over there, I assume you're not together.
No.
How old is your baby?
She's 6 months.
You have a drug problem?
No, I don't.
Have you used drugs?
Yeah, before I had my baby.
Have you used drugs after she was born?
No. I drank a little bit, but...
What was your drink of choice?
Remy.
Remy?
Yes. Remy Martin, cognac.
It's pretty heavy stuff, isn't it?
I guess, for my age.
Who do you live with?
I live with my mom now.
Who else lives with your mother?
My dad.
Your lawsuit alleges that Miss West was babysitting for your daughter. You went to get her. Miss West refused to give her to you, and she assaulted you. Miss West says that when you came to pick up your daughter, you had been drinking. She felt that the child was at risk. She refused to give you the child. She says that you, in fact, assaulted her. So, when did Miss West start to babysit for your daughter?
This was January 2nd. This was the first time she has ever babysitted for me.
How old was your daughter at that time?
She was born in November, so about 1.5 months.
And why was Miss West babysitting for your daughter?
Because I figured the father's family never sees a baby, so I figured, let me give them a call so they could see her. So in turn, they came to pick me up, and she decided to watch the baby. She offered to take care of the baby.
All right. She said what to you?
She said, oh, I could watch her for you. You could go out, have a good time.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Second?
Yes.
What time?
This was probably in the evening around 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Good. When did you come back?
I came back the next day.
Where did you go that night?
I was with her niece, Katie, and Lisa's daughter, and some of her nieces.
Where did you sleep that night?
At her sister's house.
Okay, so the next day you came back on January the 3rd.
Yes.
What time?
I came back around 10 o'clock in the morning.
Go ahead.
So I went over there, was with my baby for that whole day.
Was Miss West at home?
Yes, she was at home.
Okay, keep going.
So, anyways, that same day, she ends up telling me that, it's time for me to go home. I said, okay. She says, but you could leave your baby here and I could watch her for you overnight. I said, oh, no, that's okay. I could go home. She said, are you sure you're going to be able to take care of the baby because you've been drinking? I said, of course I'll be able to take care of my baby. I'm fine.
Had you been drinking on the 3rd?
Yes, I was drinking a little bit. It was New Year's, so, yeah.
No, the 3rd is not New Year's.
Yeah.
New Year's is December 31st. The 3rd is not New Year's. On the 3rd of January, had you been drinking?
Yes.
What were you drinking? The Remy?
Yeah.
And then you wanted to take the baby home?
Yes, so.
And she said no.
She didn't want me to take my baby home. I said, well, can I stay here? She didn't want me to stay at her house. She's like, oh, I'll take care of her. She's like, don't worry about it. Go home and relax. She's like, because, you know, you're a new mom and you do need a break, and Thomas is nowhere around to be found. He hasn't called or
keep going.
anything.
Come on, move it, move it.
So anyway, so I go home. She drops me off at home. My mom asks, where's the baby? So I said, oh, Lisa's taking care of her. She says, oh, really? So I said, would you like to call her? So she calls her, and Lisa gets on the phone and said, oh, well, do you want me to call CPS? And there's no reason to involve CPS for anything. I don't know why she said that. So we go pick up my daughter, and she doesn't know that I'm coming to pick up my daughter. I go in the house, and when I go in her bedroom, she's shocked to see me.
Who let you in?
Her husband let me in. So when I busted in the room, she was sitting with my baby. My baby was stuffed in her chest. She had a pillow behind her back, and she was sitting cross-legged. She said, what are you doing here? I said, give me my baby, Lisa. She snatched the baby. She said, no. I said, what do you mean? I can't have my baby? She said, no, do you want me to call CPS? I said, for what? Why are you going to call CPS for? So she refuses to give me my daughter. So I have to call my mom to tell my mom to come in the house saying she's not giving me my baby. So then she decides.
How did you get there?
My mom gave me a ride.
You mean your mother gave you a ride and then just dropped you off?
No, she was waiting outside for me.
Okay, go ahead.
So then she decides finally to give me my daughter. So my mom comes in the house, and I'm like, Mom, she's not letting me leave with my baby. She says, oh, no, don't let them leave. She was telling Katie and everybody in the house, don't let her leave, don't let her leave. So they block all possible entries so me and my mom cannot get out with my daughter. My baby started crying. My mom was holding the baby. So my mom said, oh, do you have a bottle so I could feed my granddaughter? Lisa's like, no, let me feed her. She tries to go to my mom and tries to tear my baby out of my mom's arms. So that's when I gave me to her. I'm like, what are you doing? No. So she comes back to me, grabs me by my jacket, and slams me all the way against the wall. Then she grabs me and slams me all the way down on the bathroom floor and starts choking me. It took 3 people to try to get her off of me. Her husband was in the kitchen, finally decides to get up to come get her off of me. And then she's still trying to fight. She's still trying to come attack me. And then when the police comes, she tells them that I attacked her, which was wrong.
Okay, Miss West, now I'll hear you.
Well, it started January the 1st. My niece and my daughter comes home with Rachel. My niece Katie tells me that Rachel called my daughter Caroline to pick her up from this hotel on West MacArthur.
Katie, stand up. Tell me what you saw when you got to the hotel.
Okay, Rachel was drinking with some guy, and the baby was just crying, and it just seemed like the baby...
How did you get... Who had you heard from that caused you to go to the hotel?
My cousin.
Who were you in the hotel with?
I was with my friend. He was helping me.
What's his name?
His name is Jose.
And what were you drinking with Jose?
I'm drinking some Remy.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I took the baby from Rachel because she was crying. I rubbed her stomach. It seemed like she had colic. And I said, Rachel, do you burp your baby after you feed her? Rachel said, no, this is my first child. I really don't know what I'm doing. I said, you know what, Rachel, this don't make no sense. Give me this baby. Me and my cousins take the baby. We go get the baby some medication. Rachel is not even coherent enough to give her baby the medication.
Your Honor.
Put your hands down. I don't think you're adorable. I don't think you're cute. I'm going to hear from your mother because, quite frankly, unless your mother is totally together, I'm calling CPS on you. You understand that?
Yes.
You understand why?
Why?
Remy. Stand up. Who has legal custody of this child?
Rachel.
Well, that better change. That better change. She is in no position to have legal custody of this child. And unless somebody who's responsible has custody of this child, Child Protective Services is going to take the child and give the child to a stranger. Maybe to Miss West. Who knows? Your daughter is acting irresponsibly. Don't you understand that?
I do understand, but I do not understand the reason why Miss West had to assault her. That I don't understand.
Listen to me. I don't understand why you would allow your daughter, who was intoxicated, which she clearly was on the 3rd of January, to go back to Miss West's house and tell her to go inside and take the baby. If you felt as if you didn't want Miss West and you wanted the baby to come home with you, then you go inside, and maybe you could have had a civilized discussion with Miss West. Instead, you send her inside, and she has no brain. I mean, didn't you hear what she said? This lady is telling me the truth. She went to a motel, found your daughter in a motel with your granddaughter crying, and she's sitting with some jerk drinking Remy.
No, Your Honor, my daughter was crying because I didn't know what was going on. I was holding my baby, Your Honor.
Because you didn't know that
Just a second. Just a second. You didn't know what year it was,
I was
madam.
burping my daughter, Your Honor.
What were you doing in a motel with a guy drinking Remy?
Because I was expecting to see if the father would call me on New Year's to come by. That's why I got the hotel room. I was with my friend. He was helping me take care of my baby instead of the father.
He was helping you by sitting with you in a motel drinking?
He was holding her, helping me, trying to calm her down too, Your Honor.
What's your last name?
Jimenez.
Miss Jimenez, do you get it? She is incapable of taking care of a child.
I'm not incapable.
Incapable.
My daughter's well taken care of.
She has no judgment. Zero judgment. And this baby is going to get hurt. Did you just hear what she said to me, Miss Jimenez? She said she took a motel room, hoping that the baby's father would call her on New Year's Eve. And later, she's still in the motel room with Jose, drinking Remy with the baby. Do you get it? You're shaking your head. The only reason you're off the hook is that there's not enough room for you up there.
Ma'am, she
Because
took
when
my
you make-
child from me.
Because when you make a baby, you're supposed to be able to take care of a baby.
And I was. And I provided a roof over her head till she decided to take my baby and leave without
Then
everything.
you go to court.
And that's what I'm doing,
He hasn't
ma'am.
been doing
Good.
anything.
Then you go to court. What?
When I took her to pick the baby, she was not drunk.
She had been drinking all day. She said she had been drinking
I
all
wasn't
day.
drinking all day. That's when I was drinking during the daytime, Your Honor. Then I wanted to go home with my daughter. She told me I could stay at her house, but then refused for me not to stay at her house.
I heard you. Did you know where your daughter was on January 1st with the baby in the motel? Just answer my question. Did you know where your daughter was on January 1st in the motel?
Yes.
And you
But
thought...
not in the motel, Your Honor. She was at home.
She was in a motel with Jose.
Then she went there because she
So
wanted
I'm asking you... Listen, I'm asking you, did you know that she was in a motel with Jose?
I did not know until afterwards.
That's what I want to know. Does it surprise you to know she was in a motel with Jose drinking?
I was surprised to know that she was
all I
there.
want. That's all I want to know. So far, maybe there's a light at the end of your tunnel. Maybe.
Your Honor, I'm a very good mom. I'm a very good mom. My daughter does not want for anything. She's well taken care of.
Listen
That
to
was
me.
just that
Miss
one
West,
night.
Did you call CPS?
Yes, I did.
Did they do an investigation?
The person that was doing the investigation got sick, and I called and talked to the person that took over the case. They've been trying to contact and locate Rachel, which they have been unsuccessfully at.
Is she living in your house?
Yes.
Did she sleep at your house last week? Listen, Miss Jimenez, you answer my question.
Yes.
Did she sleep at your house every night last week?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe her.
I don't believe you.
I'm at my house every single day, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm not comfortable. So we're going to send this to Child Protective Services, just to be on the safe side, because I'm not hearing any reasoned response by this lady to her daughter's behavior. Drunk people don't take care of children. People who drink don't take care of children. They leave them with other responsible people. And if they don't leave them with other responsible people, then they're neglectful.
I am not neglectful for that one day, Your Honor. I don't drink every single day.
Well, listen to me, my dear.
But I was.
I'm speaking to you. According to you, I only asked you about 3 days, January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And according to your testimony, you drank on January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd. That's according to you. You say that she assaulted you?
Yes.
Tell me what she did.
First of all, we all decided on January the 2nd that Rachel was still under the influence of alcohol and other substance abuse. We all decided that Rachel needed a little bit more time to get herself together. Therefore, my husband and I told Rachel we'd be more than happy to watch her until she get herself together.
You mean watch the baby?
The child, yes. So Rachel said, but I want to stay. I said, well, Rachel, you can't stay because I don't have enough room to house you. So my husband and I drove her home. So that was that. So my husband and I proceeded back home, got home. Then she had called and said, I want to come and get my baby. I said, let me speak to your mother. So her mother got on the phone. I said, well, the baby is fine. I said, she's asleep, and David and I, which is my husband, is going to take care of the child. Then the mother said, no, the baby needs to be home with Rachel.
No,
Rachel needs to take care of her own baby. But I said, but Rachel's not in any condition at this time. I said, you really need to pay attention to your daughter. I said, take this time to really analyze your daughter. She said, well, it's nothing wrong with her. I said to myself, well, she's a fool. I said, Rachel is on drugs. I just came out and told the mother. The mother said, oh, that's what you say. Then she hung up the phone.
Okay, there came a time that she came back to your house. Her mother brought her there. Now I want to skip to that point.
Okay, when Rachel came to my house, I was in my bedroom. The baby was asleep, and Rachel came in there. I want my baby. I said, Rachel, I've made it perfectly clear you're not in any conditions to see to this child. I said, you've been drinking for the last 3 days, and you've been smoking weed, crystal, what they call mushrooms. I said, you really need to just calm down, you know, get yourself together. She said, no, give me my baby, give me my baby. I said, Rachel, I can't give you your baby. I said, anyway, how did you get here? She said, my mother brought me. I said, well, I need to talk to your mother then. So I told my husband, David, to go out there and see was her mother actually out there. Then Rachel would say, no, no, just give me my baby, just give me my baby. I said, Rachel, I'm here to help you. I don't want to call the police and report you to CPS. I said, you're not leaving me any alternative. At that point, her mother came in. Then I gave her the baby. Then I talked to her mother, Tina. I said, Rachel is not in any condition to provide for this child, but if you tell me that you're going to take care of this baby and be solely responsible for this child, I can give the child to you. Then she said, well, that's Rachel's responsibility. I'll help her. I said, oh, no. I said, you're going to tell me you're going to help her? I said, she can't help herself at this time. So mother said, I'm leaving, we leaving. Then I said, no, you have to wait for the police. So Rachel was behind me, and she said, no, no, get away from my baby. Get away from, I'm taking my baby. And popped me upside the head.
She's lying, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear you.
So I said, you have to stay for the police. So then she bopped me again. I said, now, wait a minute. Are you fighting? And then she just took off, and I said, I just had gasket bypass surgery. I'm not strong. And she just commenced on, so, hey, I'm going to defend my stomach and everything.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You know what a hair follicle test is?
What's that? Oh, they pick the hair?
Yeah. We take a piece of your hair, and the hair will tell us whether, in the past year, you have used any drugs, and if you've used alcohol, how much. You prepared to take a hair follicle test?
I feel that there's no reason to
You
take
prepared. My question is, that requires a yes or a no answer. You say that you did not use drugs, and you don't have an alcohol problem. So my question to you is, are you prepared to take a hair follicle test that requires a yes or a no answer?
No, I'm not going to take a hair
Right.
follicle test. For what?
Correct.
I'm here for the fact that this woman assaulted me.
I don't
She's
believe
lying.
she assaulted you.
She did assault me, Your Honor. This woman is lying through her teeth, Your Honor.
Miss Cooper, now your mother knows. If I said to you, Miss Jimenez, I have serious questions as to whether or not you abuse drugs, and I can find that out very easily. Are you prepared to give us a strand of hair so we can do a hair follicle test? What would you say to me?
Yes.
Of course. What did your daughter say to me?
She said no.
Do you know why? I've been in this business for 40 years. I know why.
But Your
Copy of
Honor,
that. I'm speaking. Copy of this case will be sent to Child Protective Services. Your lawsuit is dismissed. So is your counterclaim. You would not have filed this counterclaim unless you filed the lawsuit, correct?
Correct.
We'll take care of what you wanted to do, which is at least try to have this baby protected. Child Protective Services will do a follow-up now that she's declined to take a test. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand? Now, I don't know what you do, but you got to get more together and you got to get involved. It's not up to her to take over your responsibility.
I ain't seen
That's
my
all.
baby
See
in
that
4
now?
Take care of his child.
She took my baby.
Oh, whatever.
Peggy Price is suing her ex-boyfriend, Corey Emerson, for loans to pay rent, fix his bike, and travel to his brother's wedding. Corey says the money she gave him was never a loan.
Miss Price, Mr. Emerson was your boyfriend for a brief period of time, and according to your complaint, you made a series of loans to him. You want your money back because he broke off the relationship. He says that he did break off the relationship. Any money that you gave him during the relationship were gifts because you cared for him. He needed the money. That's what people do, care for each other. They help each other out. And the only time it became a loan was when he broke up with you. Is that your defense, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you, Mr. Emerson?
30 years old.
Ever been married?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times?
Just once.
When and for how long?
I was married when I was 20 for 9 years.
You have children?
2.
How old are your children?
9 and 10.
Do you see them?
Almost every day.
So you're a good father.
I try to be, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Emerson?
I work for the railroad.
And how long have you worked for the railroad?
6.5 years.
Pay child support?
Yes, ma'am.
What about you, Miss Price? How old are you?
32.
Ever been married?
Yes.
When and for how long?
2000 until 2005.
Have any children?
2.
How old are they?
5 and 13.
Do you work?
I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm self-employed hairstylist.
Children see their father?
Yes.
Do you pay child support?
He's disabled, so they get Social Security.
And your former wife, sir, what does she do?
She has an in-home daycare.
So it would be a fair statement, Mr. Emerson, to say that both of these families are sort of struggling to make ends meet financially. That be a fair statement?
I wouldn't say that I'm struggling, nor would I say she's struggling at all.
Really?
That's correct.
You think there's plenty of money to go around?
I do.
Then why would you take money from her, Mr. Emerson?
I didn't take any money.
No, listen to me, sir.
Oh.
You did take money from her. Whether it's a gift or a loan, you did take money from her, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, if these two families are in pretty much similar circumstance, why would you take money from her?
Things come up, things need to be paid. She offers to pay for those things. I wasn't going to say no.
Why not? Is my question. Why not? Would not a person with a certain moral compass say, listen, you're a working gal, you got 2 little children. I'm a working guy, I got 2 little children.
Somebody offers me money, who am I to say no?
A creep. That's who you are. Because whether I determine this was a gift or a loan, you're a creep. You're not talking about somebody who's got plenty of extra cash and says to somebody that she cares about, listen, I got a lot of extra cash. You need something, I'll help you with it. You were pretty well aware of the fact, if you were dating for a while, that she's a hard-working gal who comes home from work, takes care of her kids, does the cooking, whatever, does everything that has to be done. And you, on the other hand, who see your children every day, which is really very nice, probably have much less responsibility with regard to doing their laundry, with their appointments, with regard to doing the general stuff, what I call the grunt work, because your children do live with their mother, don't they?
Yes, ma'am.
So now we're going to decide whether you are a creep that took the money because it was a loan or a creep that took the money because it was a gift. Either way, I don't approve of your behavior. When did you start dating Mr. Emerson?
The 2nd week of May, 2006.
Tell me when and under what circumstances he asked you for the first amount of money.
He wrecked his bike, the fork broke. He said that he didn't have the money to pay for it. Sent me a text message, can you do me a huge favor? That's how all of them start.
Could you do me a huge favor?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What did it say?
I need money to pay for the fork for my bike.
Okay.
So I said under the condition that he make payments, whatever. Eventually it's got to be paid back.
When did you tell him eventually he has to be paid back?
I didn't set a date. I just said, whenever you can pay me back.
Okay, so and how much was that for?
This check was for $409.81.
Okay, next.
Then he was having problems. He didn't have enough money to pay his rent. So
how did you find out about that?
He sent me a text message again asking him to help him pay his rent. And I said, how much is it? And he said it was $640 with late fees. I said, how much do you have? He said he had like $400 in the bank. And I said, I can help you out, but once again, it's, we're adding this on. So I wrote a check for $640, but he gave me $403 of it.
Go ahead.
Then he had to get home. His brother's wedding was like a month before.
He had to go to a wedding?
To Montana. And, we talked about it, and I'm like, I can help you out. If you want me to, whatever, I can help you out.
I don't want whatever. You're in court now, Miss Price. You have to be specific about what you said to him and what he said to you, and I want you to trust me on this. I know what you're making up, and I know what you're not making up.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
So a month later, he had a wedding?
Yes.
Where were you when he asked you for the money for the trip?
We were at a bar.
And what did he say to you?
He just said that he didn't have the money to get there. Could I help him out?
And what did you say?
I said, I can do what I can, but...
And how much was that?
The plane ticket was $346.60, and the Greyhound bus that I put him on, because I waited till the last minute to get the plane ticket, and it was going to be $900. So I wasn't going to do that. I didn't have the money to do that, and he knew that. So I sent him on a Greyhound, and that was $159.
Okay, and that's it?
Yes.
And what date was that?
He left on the 1st of August and returned on the 8th.
And when did you and Mr. Emerson stop seeing each other?
He came in on the 11th, which was a Friday, at about noon,
To your salon?
My work, yes. I proceeded to give him and his son a haircut at no charge, thinking everything was okay, because we'd had no problems up till then. And I got a text message 6 hours later from him saying that we needed a break, and, you know, this wasn't working, it was moving too fast. And so we went back and forth through text messages, and I said, you know, I have the right to know why you're feeling this way. I've done everything in the relationship I've given.
And he said?
He said, since you're giving me an ultimatum, it's over.
Okay, now, Mr. Emerson, it's your turn. June. June!
June, the mountain bike. I wrecked my mountain bike. It was going to cost about $400 to fix it. I had talked with Peggy about the price, and she offered to pay for it.
What would you talk to her about the price for?
Well, we're in a relationship. We talked about, you know, I talked about wrecking my mountain bike and, you know, what it was going to be to fix it. And
why would you tell her that? Why don't you tell your ex-wife that?
Actually, I did tell my ex-wife that.
Did she give you any money?
No.
You have living parents?
Yes.
Yeah, well, your mother loves you for a longer time than the plaintiff did. Why don't you call your mother and say, I broke my spoke?
I didn't need to. The plaintiff had already offered to pay for it.
She wouldn't need to have offered to have paid for it, Mr. Emerson, if you didn't have a problem. And you wouldn't have had a problem if you called your mother or your father or your brother or your sister and said, could you loan me some money? Then you wouldn't have even had to mention it to her.
It was offered to pay for it, ma'am.
Well, what about Mr. Emerson? You need not do that. I only know you 8 weeks. And I wouldn't think of taking any money from you because I have a mother who gave birth to me. I have an ex-wife who I support along with my 2 children. I have a brother, sister, father, you know, who I've known a long time. I wouldn't think of taking money from you. How about that?
Didn't even cross my mind.
No, that's because you're a creep. Now, Mr. Emerson, you want to tell me what cathartic event happened between the 1st of August when you went home to your brother's wedding and the 11th of August when you had your hair cut and your son's hair cut for free at Miss Price's salon that caused you to send her a text message that said, we need a break?
It had been leading up to that.
I want you to tell me the cathartic event between August 1st, when you left on a plane ticket that she purchased for you, and when you came back on a Greyhound bus ticket that she had purchased for you that caused you to say, we need a break.
Okay, it was...
Follow my train of thought, sir.
It was big deal was the plane ticket. She tells you she's going to do something and she'll play along with the story. I'm going to do this. I've got it taken care of. Don't worry. I'll do it.
Just a second. Just a second. Let's get rid of the gobbledygook, sir. What you're complaining about is
the fact that she does not follow through.
Listen. What you're saying is she sent you home by bus instead of plane. Is that what you're telling me?
That was one of the problems, yes.
Oh, very good. Major creep. Major creep. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,154. That's all.
19-year-old Brittany Mimsquay is suing her former friend, Samantha Gilmore, for the return of money she paid to go on a cruise. Samantha says Brittany backed out at the last minute.
Miss Mimsquay.
Yes.
Miss Gilmore was a friend of yours. You had been friends for a long time, according to what I read in your complaint. A group of girls decided to go on a trip. Where were you going?
We were going on a Mexican cruise.
For how many days?
A week.
And what was the cost to each girl?
It was $325 each.
Very reasonable for a whole week.
Yes.
Did they feed you on this trip for $325 for a week?
I actually don't know. I didn't go.
Do they feed you?
Yes, they do.
In any event, you paid Miss Gilmore your $325.
Yes.
She was making the arrangements. How old are you?
I'm 19.
And you?
19.
Am I correct that someone in the party had to be 21 in order for the girls to go?
Yes.
What you tell me in your complaint is that one of the girls, I believe her name was Ashley, was the 21-year-old, she backed out.
Yes.
So now you have a predicament. You've paid your $325, as have other girls, and unless you found someone else who was 21 years old, you couldn't go.
Yes.
So according to you, you waited for a while to see if somebody else was going to go and somebody else was going to go. So you made other plans for that period of time. That's what you say. And according to you, Miss Gilmore decided to take her brother.
Yes, well, actually...
Decided to take her brother. He was going to pay for himself. And his brother had a friend whose name was?
Gaius.
Gaius?
Gaius Mike. He goes by Mike.
Good. His name was Mike. Mike went on your ticket.
Yes.
And you want the money?
Yes.
Didn't Mike pay?
No.
Why not?
because we had made oral agreement that Mike was going to pay after the cruise, but Brittany showed up at my house the day before we left saying that she wanted it then.
Just a minute. Who did Mike make the arrangement with? With you?
With me. He made it with me and she made it with me.
Just a second. So Mike made the arrangement with you that he was going to pay for the trip.
Yes.
And you told her that Mike was paying for the trip. That was your agreement with him.
Yes.
Now she's suing you because you told her you're going to get your money for this ticket. That's what you told her.
Yes.
Go get the money from Mike. She has no way of suing him because they did not have an agreement. The agreement was between the two of you. You have a cause of action against him if he breached that agreement and didn't give you the money.
Yes, but since she had come to my house saying that she wanted the money earlier than she had expected, I figured if she felt that she needed the money before, even though he wasn't able to provide it for her, she should have called the travel agent herself and said that, because what she said was she wanted her ticket or the money.
Madam.
Ma'am.
She could have done this and she would have done that, and if she did this, she wouldn't have been in that chair. She had an agreement with you. And the agreement was you were going to give her back her money because your brother and his friend were going on this trip with you. And if the friend stiffed you, sue him. He went, he had a good time. I assume he ate, right? Well, I'm sure his company wasn't that terrific that entitled him to a free ride, right? Right, Mr. Gilmore? You wouldn't give him a free ride.
Ma'am, she canceled out at the very last minute.
Are you following me? Your daughter made an agreement with her that she would get her money back. She has to do that. Now, since she did not gain anything herself, perhaps, unless she likes Mike, she has an absolute right to turn around and sue Mike for the cost of the ticket because he promised to pay her, and he didn't. She may have had a lot of other options. She doesn't have to exercise all those other options. She had an agreement with your daughter. Do you get it?
Yes.
Good. Now, you have a counterclaim for harassment and the expenses surrounding harassment. Ms. Gilmore, you want to tell me about that?
Yes, when she had decided 4 days we had agreed that Mike was going to take her place. We had made the agreement that he was going to pay after, and she kept constantly calling saying that she wanted the money earlier, and I told her that I didn't have it and that Mike hadn't given it to me, and she kept calling me, harassing me, and showing up. She showed up at my house the day before saying she wanted the money or the ticket, and the option was that she could call the travel agent and say that she wanted her place back because I didn't have the money. So she was constantly calling me, and then after she had left our house, she had called our mutual friend who also went, inquiring about my car, wondering where my car was going to be where we went on the cruise, and I just bought a brand new car, so I was wondering why she wanted to know where my car was.
Just a second, how do you know Brittany called your friend?
My friend, the one who went on the cruise, told me.
Well, you can't tell me that, madam, that's hearsay.
Okay.
What else?
So, but basically she had called me constantly, leaving me messages, called me when I was at work.
That's what happens when she feels as if you were stiffing her money. That's not a cause of action for harassment. You have to give her the $325, and I suggest that you and your father, when you leave here, you go to small claims court and you sue Mike for the trip that he took, that he enjoyed, that so far he didn't pay for. Right?
Right.
As between the two of you, you owe her $325. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Goodbye.
Dora Huff claims a strange son-in-law, Paul Veloff, owes for bail money she posted on his behalf.
Miss Huff, the defendant is your soon-to-be ex-son-in-law. I assume this is your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that he owes you money for bail.
Yes, ma'am.
And that he agreed to pay you back once you had bailed him out, and he has declined to do so. Mr. Veloff says you made no agreement with him with regard to the bail money. You made an agreement with his wife. So if you want the bail money paid, get it from your daughter. That's your defense.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Veloff, how long have you been married?
13 years, 14 years.
13 or 14 years.
13.
You have children?
Yes, 2.
How many?
2.
When were you arrested, sir?
It was filed on July 4th, but I actually turned myself in on that Sunday, which would have been, I think, the 6th, 7th? Of July, I'm sorry.
7/7 of 06?
Yes.
Is this the first time you had been arrested, sir?
Yes.
And this was for domestic violence?
Yes.
And the domestic violence alleged that you either assaulted or threatened or harassed your wife?
Right.
Were you in or out of the house on the 7th of July?
In the house.
No. Okay. Mrs. Veloff, when did you complain about your husband's conduct to the police?
The incident of 4th of July.
Tell me about the incident.
We have been having marital problems for quite a while, and a recurring situation came up again that he was not working and taking care of his responsibilities. It escalated into a yelling argument that turned physical. Shortly after, well, the argument went on for quite a while. He was restraining me. I was not allowed. I was undressed coming out of the shower. He wouldn't allow me to get dressed. He wouldn't allow me to leave the master bedroom. Finally, when I did get out of the bedroom, I made it down to the lowest floor of the house, got a phone, and dialed 911. While I was on the phone with the dispatcher, he left the property. While he was gone, they dispatched 2 sheriff's vehicles to the house. They took my statement, took photos.
A copy of the statement, please. Do you have a copy of that police report?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay, they took photographs of what?
They took photographs of the marks on my body and the damage to the home.
What kind of marks did you have on your body?
My arms were bruised, where he had grabbed me and forcibly threw me on the bed. My neck was irritated and red.
Your Honor, I do have a copy of the...
I'd like to see them. Where were your children when all this was going on?
There was a 4th of July community picnic that my daughter was at, and my son was outside playing basketball with a friend of his. I believe, well, he was in the driveway. I think they were playing basketball.
How old are your children?
14 and 12.
What's the status of this protective order?
Of the restraining order?
Yeah, what's the status of the case?
The case was dismissed.
When was the case dismissed?
It went to trial while my mother and I were in Italy for 2 weeks. It was dismissed because I did not show to testify.
Why didn't you appear to testify?
I was in Italy.
Why did you go to Italy during the trial?
It was already pre-planned, the trip. All of the subpoenas for me to appear were in my mail when I got back.
Your Honor, this was a 2-week Mediterranean cruise. We had planned 7 months prior to take all the kids and grandkids, everybody.
Got it. But Ms. Viloff, after he was arrested, because he turned himself in, according to your mother's complaint, he called you and asked you to bail him out, right?
Yes.
How much was your bail?
$2,000.
And why did you think your wife would bail you out when she was the one who filed the complaint?
Well, I called her because it started getting really rough in the jail, and I've never experienced anything like that. And I called her.
How rough was it?
They found knives, shanks.
So you wanted out of there?
Yeah, and it was Wednesday night. The other inmates were starting to get their commissary or whatever they buy for the week, and a lot of it was like cold medicine, and they were chopping it up and snorting it, and I could see attitudes change, and it started getting really scary.
So you were frightened?
Yes.
So you called your wife?
Yes, I did.
And what did you say to her?
I asked her to call my dad to see if he would bail me out.
Why didn't you call your dad?
Why didn't I call my dad?
That's exactly what I said. Why didn't you call your dad? Why are you calling the alleged victim instead of calling your father directly? Don't you speak to him?
Yes, I do.
So then why didn't you call your father yourself?
The phone calls I was able to make were very limited.
Well, I know, I understand they're very limited. I've been in the justice system a very long time. There's no reason that you're going to be able to give me that I'm going to be satisfied with, sir, as to why you didn't call your father yourself.
I don't know.
Ma'am.
Maybe your wife is going to tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you call his father?
First of all, he called the house and spoke to our son, who then called me. So by the time I got the phone call, our son was frantic with worry, thinking that his father was in mortal jeopardy.
Okay.
And then I did go and call his father, and his father said no.
That's why you didn't call him.
No, that's not true.
Otherwise, sir, you know, if something doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. How old is your son?
14.
Before I would involve my 14-year-old son in the fact that I was incarcerated and I was frightened for my life, I would call my father. If I had a decent relationship with my father and if I felt that my father would want to protect me, I certainly wouldn't involve my teenage child. That's not being a protective parent.
I did not know he was going to answer the phone.
What kind of just a second. What kind of dumb answer is that?
I mean,
What kind of a dumb answer? So because he answered the phone, you unloaded on him?
I didn't unload.
Well, of course you did. Okay. So now you're between a rock and a hard place. You got your 14-year-old child saying you got to do something to get Dad out of jail. You got his father who says, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not putting up any money for him. You don't have any money, so you call your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you say, you got to help me out here. You got to help me out. And she goes down and she puts up the bond. That's so far what happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you got out of jail, Mr. Veloff, who was there?
Who was there? My kids, my wife, and my mother-in-law.
And what did you say to your mother-in-law?
Thank you.
What else did you say to her? What else did he say?
And he hugged me and he thanked me, and I told him two things. One, he had to get his act together, and two, because he didn't have a job, he had to pay me back, and he owned 2 cars, which he'd already told Tracy he would do. I expected him to sell one of the 2 cars.
To pay you back?
To pay me back
Just
for my
a sec,
credit card.
just a-
I'm sorry.
And did he pay you back?
No, ma'am.
Why should your mother-in-law pay your bail?
I didn't ask her to.
No, you didn't ask her to. That's absolutely right, Mr. Veloff. You did not ask her to. But you promised to pay her back. But you promised to pay her back. You didn't ask her to, and absolutely, if you hadn't said to her, I'm going to pay you back, that unfortunately for Miss Huff, there would have been no recourse. The truth of the matter is, at the time that she put up the bail for her daughter and her grandchildren. Because as far as she was concerned, you could have rotted in hell. I'm sure. I'm sure. If she didn't have grandchildren, that's probably what she would have said to her daughter. Let him stay there. But she has grandchildren, and you can't do that when you have teenage grandchildren. You can't say, listen, you're going to let your father rot in jail, so he's going to call here and he's going to complain that somebody's going to shank him. Mr. Veloff, as you see, sir, I have zero sympathy for your position morally, and I have zero sympathy for your position legally. If you had not told your mother-in-law that you would pay her back.
I promised to get my act together and get a job.
Just a second. Just a second. Did you get your act together?
Yes.
Did you get a job?
Yes.
Good. Now you have money to pay her back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,020. That's all. Step out.
23-year-old Anthony DeCarlos is suing vet technician Sharon Yaffe for failing to return his miniature pinscher, Phoenix.
Mr. DeCarlos, you are suing Miss Jaffe because you claim that because of her actions, your pet was neutered.
Yes, ma'am.
Without your permission, and she caused you a great deal of stress when she refused to divulge the name of the people who she had given the dog to when your dog turned up astray and missing. What I gather from your complaint is you were not at home. The puppy was at home with friends of yours or roommates.
Roommates.
And they negligently allowed the puppy to escape the house.
Yes,
How old was the puppy at the time?
8 months.
And how many people were supposed to be watching him?
Just one of my roommates was at home at the time.
And how did he let the dog out?
He was going to India for a trip, and he was putting up a mailbox. We have 2 doors, and my dog got out because he left the top door open and the bottom door, and he got out while he was doing that.
So he was negligent?
Yes.
On what date did he run away from your house?
On the 25th of June.
And how long had you had the puppy at the time?
I'd had him for probably like 4 months.
Where did you get him from?
A breeder.
And how much did you pay for him?
Like $300.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Mr. DeCarlos?
Sorry. Yes.
Paid $300. Did you get papers for him?
Yes, ma'am. I have
I'd like to
papers.
see them. He's a miniature pinscher.
Yes.
I had one of those when I was a child. Okay, so June 25th, the puppy escapes. What did you do to find him?
Well, when I found out, I was at the library when this happened. I came home and found that my dog was gone. And so I was like, oh my God, what happened? So I went, like, immediately put up flyers to find my dog around my block and everything like that. And my roommate did help me, you know, so he did feel bad, but I can't blame him, you know. So we
Look, stop talking so fast. Oh. Doesn't like the camera.
Probably not. It's okay. Phoenix.
Feisty little thing. Anyway, so you put up flyers. What else did you do?
I would put up flyers.
What else did you do?
I called.
Who did you call?
Someone that found my dog responded to the flyers, and they contacted me and let me know where they had taken my dog to.
Okay, so you yourself did not call the animal rescue, animal control.
Oh, I called. I visited numerous animal shelters around where I live, and I called like the animal patrol, like where I live, because I would figure like he'd be around in my area, but that wasn't the case at all.
So somebody saw the flyer with the dog's picture and called you.
Yes, ma'am.
On what date was that?
I'm not sure of the day exactly.
Well, it becomes important in this scenario.
Okay, it was probably like 2 to 3 weeks later, after the 25th.
3 weeks later?
Yes.
So we're now mid-July.
Yes.
Okay. And the person who called you, just for the purpose of this, said that your dog was injured?
Right. They had told me that he had been clipped by a car, and he was fine. Like, he was, by the time they took him to the animal hospital, like, he was walking and he was fine. And they told me that they had admitted him and they gave him to a nurse, and she took him home. And then they gave me the number of the place, so I called, and she definitely agreed. She said I took him home and I cared for him or whatever. And then she gave him to Sharon Yaffe.
Okay.
Sad.
He's really not happy. Why don't you take him out, okay?
No, sorry.
Got a heart of a lion, that little guy. So the person at the animal shelter, they took care of your pet who had been injured.
Yes, ma'am.
And somebody was wonderful enough to take him home, nurse him back to health, and then turned him over to the defendant.
Yes.
Miss Yaffe, you work for the shelter?
I work for a shelter.
And who was it that gave you the puppy?
A co-worker of mine who was working at the animal hospital when the animal was delivered.
On what date did you take custody of him?
July 3rd, which would have been a Monday morning.
Okay, go ahead.
The prior weekend, the co-worker at my weekend job, which is an emergency animal hospital, advised she had been recuperating a dog at home for 10 to 14 days, wanted to know if I would be able to find it a home. And I told her, if it's something small with a nice disposition, nothing that bites, I can always find something small a home. I did have a friend of mine who has a geriatric miniature pinscher, and that would have been my first outlet for the dog. I picked the dog up that morning from the animal hospital, which would have been Monday morning. The animal had already been neutered.
The animal had been neutered at the animal hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
So before you took custody of the animal, it was neutered?
Correct.
Go ahead.
I picked the dog up. I called my friend and let him know what I had. He contacted his wife. He has a daughter at home who's like 10 years old. And they said they would try the dog out. So the gentleman came and picked the animal up from me that same day.
Okay. When did Mr. DeCarlos contact you?
Friday, which would have been July 7th, I believe.
And he described the dog?
Yes.
And when did he get the dog back?
I'm not sure of the exact day.
When did you get the dog back, sir?
I'm not sure of the exact day either.
It was in July.
Yeah, I had to get a lawyer to actually get my dog back from her. I even offered, when I spoke with her, I was like, I will pay, these people, I'll buy them a new dog. I just want my dog back. That's all that I really cared about. And she was like, no, I'm not gonna. I don't want to make these people unhappy and this, that, and the other. But I'm like, it's my dog. I came forward. It's my dog. And on top of everything, Your Honor, she lied. She was lying to me about everything.
I never lied.
Your Honor, she told me that the dog was in the facility when it was not. And I have documentation from her job right here that says that they did an investigation on her and they found her guilty of everything.
Well, let me see what you have. Ms. Yaffe, you did not make the dog available to the plaintiff when he called you. You want to tell me why?
The animal had been in the home already.
4 days.
4 days.
4 days.
I was really apprehensive about contacting the people and letting them know that an owner had come forward for the animal. They've got a 10-year-old daughter. I knew the dog was in a good home, a good, responsible home.
Okay. You made a misjudgment.
In hindsight, yes.
You made a misjudgment. Okay. I see Mr. DeCarlos said what this says is that they conducted an investigation to determine whether or not Ms. Yaffe's actions were within departmental guidelines of the animal control. And it says that the actions of the employees were not within our best policy nor our best practice of the police department and animal control facility, and your complaint has been sustained. Okay. So you should have gotten your dog back.
Yes.
So?
I did get my dog back. Well, the reason why I'm suing is because my dog was neutered.
That's not her problem. That's your roommate's problem. That's not her problem. Nobody did anything to intentionally inflict injury on your puppy. Nobody. What happens is when an animal, I assume that something must have happened to the puppy's tags and or chip, which you should have had on the puppy so that the puppy could have been easily identifiable.
Yes, ma'am.
And that wasn't there. Am I right, Mr. DeCarlos?
Yes, ma'am, you're right.
It had a chip inserted in the puppy, which everybody recommends now.
Yes.
Or you had a collar with your telephone number and way to contact you, we wouldn't be here today. So that's your fault. It's not her fault that your dog was neutered. She didn't neuter the dog.
Right, but she knew it was taking place, like she knew about it.
So what? Now Not every grievance, Mr. DeCarlos, is a lawsuit. Now, I agree with you that the defendant, and she acknowledges in hindsight, she should have turned the dog back over to you. It was a mistake on her part. She can't say, well, they've come attached to the dog in 4 days and I don't feel comfortable about calling, you know, and say you have to return the dog to its rightful owner. But she's not responsible for the fact that your dog was neutered.
So should I, like, sue, like, the animal hospital that they have no documentation, or?
Absolutely not. You shouldn't sue anybody. You should take your dog home and teach him not to growl. You know, you got your dog back in one piece, and the fact that he's neutered, what difference does it make?
Well, I was planning on breeding him.
Plan something else. Your own negligence in failing to have proper identification on the dog caused the dog to go into a shelter without any known information. That's your negligence, so go sue yourself. Your case against the defendant is dismissed. Goodbye.
24-year-old Heidi Huntley claims ex-boyfriend Eric Huntley owes for half of their credit card debt.
Miss Huntley, the defendant is your former boyfriend. You've been together for quite some time, I assume, and you have one child together.
Yes.
Your complaint is that when you broke up, Mr. Huntley agreed that he would take over half of the credit card debt. He made a couple of payments and then stopped. You also claimed that he used a car that belonged to you and caused some damage to the car and vandalism to the car. You wanted to take care of that. Mr. Huntley said he walked out of the house, leaving you in the house with your child. How old is your child?
My son is 7.5.
And he left with his clothes, and that's on that credit card remained in the house, and he doesn't see why in the world he should pay for it.
Yes.
And with regard to the car, his defense is that any vandalism that was done to the car was paid out by your insurance from an act of vandalism that had nothing to do with him, and you chose not to have the car fixed, but to pocket the insurance money, and therefore he's not paying for it because you already got paid for it, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Good. You lived together from when to when?
February of 2003 until October 8th of 2006.
When and why did you leave, Mr. Huntley?
The relationship just didn't work out. It was an agreed upon thing. It wasn't like I just stormed out. I mean, both of
Okay,
us
so you
were
agreed. So it
unhappy.
was a civilized, orderly
Yes.
arrangement.
We were both unhappy.
What arrangement did you make, Mr. Huntley, with regard to the debt?
I had been paying pretty much all of the, I mean, I had a full-time job and I was going to school, making financial aid and some scholarships, and that was all going to bills while she was only going to school. For about 4 years. When I left, I was still paying the credit card bills, but it didn't take a long time to figure out that what was going on was it was an attempt to make sure I didn't have enough money to survive, and I couldn't. Right now, she's living in a 2-bedroom house with hardwood floors, with 2 cars in the driveway. She's got a college degree. I think she's had a job for a little while. I'm sleeping on my dad's couch.
The credit card bills were how much?
We have $38,000 in credit card debt over the course of our 3-year relationship. He'd been paying half the payment on all of the 5 cards, and I had also been paying half a payment on a card that is only in his name, on not my name at all. Our credit cards have both of our names. We're both joint signers on these cards. We just made the arrangement that, you know, hey, you would pay half and I would pay half the minimum payment, and that went on for until September. And in September, he told me, I need to save for my own place. I have a new girlfriend, or October, I have a new girlfriend. I just bought a new truck after I lost $1,500 selling our truck that was in joint of our names. And I don't have the money to pay it, so you're just going to have to deal with it yourself. It's not my problem.
Well, you have to deal with it, and he has to deal with it, because if they're joint credit cards, they're going to come after both of you.
Absolutely.
So, what are you doing in court? Here.
He won't pay the credit card.
Well, they're going to come after him. They'll attach your salary, they'll attach his salary.
Well, Your Honor, I have a credit score of 760. His credit score is now 720, but when we met, it was in the 500s and mine was in the 700s. And
Miss Huntley, how many years since 2003 were you employed?
None of those years was I legally employed.
Well, you're not going to stand here in court and tell me you were illegally employed.
I went to school and I had scholarship funds. I had 8 different scholarships, of which I got about $2,800 a month take-home cash.
That you don't have to pay back?
I do have loans. I have student loans.
Of
but
course you do.
some
So
of that
the
I do
answer
not
is,
have to pay
so
back.
the answer is you did not work. He worked. He provided for the household while you were living together. You have to remember, folks, you're not married. We don't have courts in this country for almost marrieds living together, trying it out. We don't have courts for that. If this was a marital situation, I would have no problem. I would say, listen, you have credit card debt, you're responsible for half, and you're responsible for half. That's it. Goodbye and good luck. But that's not the case. The truth of the matter is that if you have $38,000 worth of credit card debt from 2003 in February until 2006 in October, he paid the credit cards.
No, he didn't. He was unemployed for 6 months of that time straight.
Well, you were unemployed for 4 years. Somebody had to pay for these cars.
But I wasn't unemployed. I brought home $2,800 a month every month, except for July and August.
What did you do with it?
I paid as many bills as he did: car payments, credit card payments, food, clothing.
All kinds of stuff. It's very, very interesting, Miss Huntley. I have no idea how you did that because I had kids, and nobody ever gave them $2,800 a month in cash in addition to what they were getting. So you got some kind of gig going here that probably the rest of the civilized world would like to know about.
I have a 3.8 GPA, and I'm an engineering student, and I volunteer 170 hours a year.
Fabulous. What do you want me to do? You want me to say to him what you should do is pay half the bills?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll say to him what you do should be half the bills. Be nice if you paid half the bills. That's a moral judgment. These bills are in both of your names, and eventually the credit card companies who have advanced to you foolishly $38,000 in credit card expenses are going to come after both of you for the return of this money.
Your Honor, I'm making the payments because I understand how important credit is. I would like to go on with my life. I'm making the payments regardless of whether he is.
Don't you, Mr. Huntley?
I do, but I only have so much money, and you know, it's getting to the point where I have to choose.
Are you paying child support?
Yes.
No.
Oh, interesting.
No, he has not paid child support, and he has not made a payment on any credit cards since August.
Requested to make child support payments 2 weeks ago by the state.
Mr. Huntley, requested by whom?
The state.
The state, because he wouldn't pay it.
I was never asked to pay it.
Just a second.
I've been paying all these other bills.
Listen, you may be angry. You may be angry. I don't know what you're angry about. I don't know. The truth of the matter is I really don't know what you're angry about. I was going to jump down his throat when he said I was never asked to pay it, because that's not an answer. When you have a child, you're supposed to pay child support. You don't have to be asked by anybody to pay child support. Child has to eat. Both parents are responsible for that. How much are you paying in child support?
$200 a month right now.
$200 a month is not a lot of money, Mr. Huntley.
No, it's not. At the time when I was requested to make child support payments, you know, my paychecks are $800 or $900, and she asked for $600 or $700 every 2 weeks for bills.
Well, you can't do that and pay child support.
I can't do that and pay child support.
I haven't asked for child support until he stopped paying on the bills.
Oh, well, but just a second. But then you did.
I only want what's fair. I only want half of our debt.
Miss Huntley, what you have to do, my dear, if you want half the debt, is you have to get married. That's what happens. That's what happens. Otherwise, you're coming into court, and there is no jurisdiction that I know of for almost marrieds. He can't pay half the credit card bills and the child support order that should be a lot more than $200 a month, quite frankly, Mr.
And it will be. I put an appeal to have it raised to $640 is what he's going to end up paying, which is just enough to cover the minimum payments on the credit cards.
Well, then you shouldn't have made such extensive credit card purchases. What do you want from me? Now, you chose, the two of you chose not to get married. You chose for whatever economic reason to live without benefit of marriage. I don't know why. Maybe it had to do with your scholarships. Maybe it had to do with something else. I'm not sure. Quite frankly, I don't have the time to figure it out. But if you chose to do that, you can't come to court and say, listen, now you have to go through our assets and liabilities. If I were to go through your assets, if I were to go into your home, Miss Huntley, and look at what you have in your home, would anything in your home be the product of the purchases that were made on these credit cards?
Some things.
And did Mr. Huntley take any things out of the home when he left other than his clothes and personal effects?
No, but some of those things were also on these credit cards.
No, just a second. I don't care. I'm talking about his clothes and personal effects. I'm not talking about beds and refrigerators or washer dryers or anything else that it goes to set up a household.
No, I kicked him out and he took nothing.
Right. Well, then you pay the bill. Bye.
Ryan Lapp claims his ex-girlfriend's friend, Mark Childress, entered his home without permission and assaulted him. Mark does not dispute the charge.
Mr. Lapp, it is your claim that the defendant assaulted you in your home.
Yes, it's true.
Mr. Childress acknowledges that he came to your home. He said you became confrontational.
Not true at all. Sorry.
Not so sure about it. In any event, what I gather from his answer is, if you got a whooping, you deserved it. That'd be a fair statement, sir.
Well, I'm
disappointed. Let's see. Mr. Lapp, according to what I read, you and some friends were hanging out in your house. And I don't know what you were doing and hanging around in your house, whether you were drinking or smoking or doing some drugs or whatever you were doing, but you decided to make some prank calls.
Yes.
On what evening was this, sir?
I believe it was on the evening of the 14th of July.
And you made a prank call, one of those prank calls, to the defendant's home. I assume that it's this young lady who was living in your home with you at the time.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she's a married lady?
2 days.
To this gentleman here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who was then stationed in Iraq. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me your name.
Ronald McCart.
What is your rank, sir?
I'm a specialist.
When did you get back from Iraq?
December 12th, ma'am.
Okay. So you called the defendant's home and you got this young lady on the phone. And what is your name?
Allison.
Now, did you know Allison?
Yeah, I did.
What had you been drinking, smoking, or snorting that night, Mr. Lapp?
No snorting or smoking anything other than cigarettes, but we were drinking gin that night.
And who was there?
It was me, my witness Andrew, and my neighbor from across the way, and my girlfriend.
What did you say to Allison when you prank called her, sir? Look at me.
There was a lot of prank phone calls being made, but I mean, I was on one of them. And what I said...
I want to know what was said when you called Allison.
I can't remember exactly, but I did say something to
you
the
don't
effect.
remember. So let's hear Allison. Allison, you remember July 14th?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Who called you?
Mr. Lapp called my cell phone.
How did he have your cell phone number? Do you know?
Ryan is a previous boyfriend of mine.
Who's Ryan?
Mr. Lapp.
When did you stop seeing him?
In March.
March of 06? Mm-hmm. And when did you meet your husband? Okay, so he had your cell phone number. What did he say to you, Allison, when he called?
He said that I hope that they shoot your desert rat boyfriend in the head and that they don't find his body so he can't be buried here.
Not nice?
No, definitely not. Shouldn't have ever even been said, and that was totally unright on my part.
So, Allison, what did you do when you got that message?
I was very upset. A lot of crying.
Did you tell Mr. Childress?
Yes.
Okay. So what'd you do?
I listened to the tape.
Oh, she had it on tape?
There was 16, 17 vulgar, sexually abusive, and just derogatory phone calls over a period of an hour and a half made to the house. Very explicit, very sexually demeaning.
Why, Mr. Lapp?
Like I said, I couldn't tell you why. I wasn't even on any of those phone calls except for that one phone call where I did say what I said about her now husband.
But you gave the phone to your friends.
No,
or
I
you
didn't.
Called the number.
No. Other people have her number other than me. That did not come from me. They all know her.
Did you make the phone calls?
Me?
You?
Yeah.
What am I looking at? Who else is there?
Yeah. I made about 2 or 3 myself. But everybody did have her phone number that was there, and they were all using their separate phones.
I didn't ask about anybody else. I asked about you.
Yeah, I made 2 or 3 phone calls.
Stand up. Why?
We just had we just had something against her. I don't know what it was, but we just didn't really like her.
Who cares? I don't like you. I wouldn't call you and say nasty things on your cell phone.
That's fair. We just, we were drinking, and it just...
Because you were acting like idiots, and that's what happens to idiots when they drink.
Yeah.
When they drink, they don't know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
They don't know what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they become confrontational,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Now I'll hear from you.
After listening to this hour and a half of phone calls, I was so disappointed in Ryan. We'd invited him to our house. We've fed him. We've taken care of him. And it just really disappointed me. I couldn't imagine why he would sink so low. And then to talk about a gentleman who's not here, who's serving our country, that gives him the right to say the things that he did.
Yeah, sitting on his porch and drinking gin.
Exactly.
Right.
I thought this couldn't be the Ryan I knew.
So you went over there to see if somebody else creeped into his skin?
Well, my son-in-law lives in the same apartment that Ryan does. And we had an open door policy. They come to our house, we go to their house.
So you went over there?
I went over there and...
Look at me, Mr. Childress.
Wanted to see what was going on.
So what happened when you got there?
I asked Ryan, I go, do you know who I am? Because he was in bed. I saw that his girlfriend had just left.
So you went into his bedroom?
Yes, which is right next to my son-in-law's bedroom.
How did you get into the house?
The house is open.
Okay.
It's
like do you remember,
Yes.
Mr. Lapp, what happened? Because you were pretty drunk that night, according to you.
Yeah, I wasn't that drunk in the morning, though.
Oh, so this
Maybe
was
a little
the morning.
hungover. This was a little hungover. Yes, when he assaulted me, it was in the morning.
Go ahead.
I woke up, actually, my girlfriend was leaving the house, Once she had left the house,
Was she there when you were making these calls,
Yes,
these
she
crank
was.
calls?
Yes, she was. She was there for part of the night, then she left and didn't come back.
Was she making any of the crank calls?
She was on some of those prank phone calls. What had happened was she had left that morning. He came in after that, and I thought somebody was coming to my bedroom. I thought it was my girlfriend returning because she forgot something.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. He locked the door behind him as he came in, said, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "Yeah." He told me to stand up. I stood up. He socked me once in the mouth. I fell to the bed. He continued to hold me down and punch me. I couldn't even move. I mean, he punched me 20, 25 times in the side of my face, in my stomach, all through my neck, my jaw. I have the hospital reports of the cervical strain and the contusions to the head and neck for about 3 weeks, which caused me
Not going to make any more prank phone calls, are you?
No. Prank phone calls are bad. Like I said, it was a stupid mistake, but I don't believe it justifies someone putting their hands on somebody.
Okay, now your version, sir.
I asked Ryan if he knew who I was, because I know he had been drinking the night before, and I asked him what was going on. And immediately he said, "I didn't say anything," and flailed his arms up. I took a defensive posture and acted accordingly. I thought he was going to attack me, the way he had been talking on the phone.
I don't buy that, Mr. Childress. I don't buy that. You went into his bedroom.
That's correct.
After that, he also proceeded to go out and try to assault him. It's not like he just came in there just to
assume you called
beat
the
me up.
police?
Yes, I called the police right after it happened.
And I
He
assume
also
the police,
threatened me not to
shh,
do it.
quiet.
Okay.
And I assume the police came, and I assume you played them the recordings?
Yes, Your Honor.
And they did nothing?
They failed to press charges against either one of us.
Correct. Do you work, Mr. Lapp?
Yes, I do.
Who do you work for?
Fry's Electronics in Sacramento.
How long have you worked for them?
I've worked there about 4 months now.
You have medical insurance?
No, I do not.
Have you paid any of these bills?
No, I have not. I don't have the funds to do so.
You have $2,099 in medical bills.
Yes.
Do you have any photographs of your injuries?
I did on a cell phone that's broken now, so there's no way to get those.
How many times did you hit him, Mr. Childress?
Probably between 10 and 12 times.
More than that. Way more.
Like, I was in the living room when this all happened because, like, you have, like, where I slept in the apartment, you have to walk past me to get to his room. And when he walked in there, he locked the door, and I heard a lot of, beating and screaming, him telling him to get off. But there was a lot more hits. You could hear Mark hitting Ryan. It was a lot more than 10 or 12.
Mr. Lapp, on a sympathy scale of 1 to 10, you maybe you're a -1. You understand that? To me. You too. Because the pain that you can cause somebody as a result of making crank phone calls to them, and prank phone calls, especially the kind that you did with regard to this young man who was very far away from home and whose life was on the line, so that you two idiots could sit on your porch and drink gin. The things that you said about him are outrageous. And while I understand Mr. Childress's anger at you, the law doesn't give him the right to go over to your home and to assault you. There's no question that the police were so outraged at the phone calls that they winked at the assault. But quite frankly, I can't. You are responsible for his medical bills. Now, then, the only thing that I have to make a judgment about is whether you are also responsible for his pain and suffering, because his medical bills are $2,000. He wants $5,000. That he's not getting. Because there is emotional injury and there is physical injury. And you suffered physical injury as a result of this assault. Did this young lady sue you for emotional injury?
She did not.
You think that one can be as dramatic as the other?
Yeah.
Well, so the swollen face, the black and blue, whatever, suck it up. Mr. Childress is going to pay your medical bills. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mitchell Carson is suing the mother of his child, Michelle Harris, and her husband, Todd Harris, for the return of attorney fees for a failed adoption.
Mr. Carson, you and Mrs. Harris have a child together. How
Correct,
old
ma'am.
is that child?
He's 8 years old, ma'am.
Did you ever live with him?
No.
This is your claim. The mother of your child, Miss Harris, is married to Mr. Harris. They've been married for how long?
3 years, Your Honor.
Do you have any children other than this child?
Yes, 2.
Your former girlfriend, you weren't married,
No.
is that right? And you spoke about the possibility of her husband adopting your son. And you thought about it for a while. Ultimately, you agreed that that might be a good idea. And you went ahead and hired a lawyer.
She hired the lawyer. She has to petition the lawyer.
You paid for the lawyer?
I did, because they said that they couldn't afford it.
She subsequently changed her mind.
Correct.
About the adoption, and you want that money back.
Correct.
Why did you change your mind about the adoption?
We never did change our mind, Your Honor. We simply moved out of the area.
I had been searching for work for a good 4 years and couldn't find anything but maybe temp work or part-time. We couldn't afford to take care of our children, so we started looking elsewhere for work, and Oregon had a great rate of employment, higher wages, lower cost of living, so we decided to move there and then pursue the adoption when we got settled.
Mr. Carson, when was the last time you saw your son?
I believe it was about 3 years ago.
Why?
We just had such a lack of communication together, and she lived about 100 miles away, and it just made it real difficult for us to communicate together. And that was probably a lot of my fault because I should have remained involved. Okay. But that's why the end result was the adoption.
Mr. Carson, when was the last time you supported your son?
I pay child support every month.
How much do you pay?
I pay $400 a month.
Is he up to date in his child support?
I think he's a little bit behind, but not much.
I believe him when he says he pays child support. So you're not able to use this lawyer?
Correct. What it ended up happening was I paid for the attorney, and then they sent me some documents, which I signed. It was just simple, one form that I had to sign to my release of interest or whatever you like to call it.
Termination of parental rights.
Correct. And then it was on her. And about 6 months later or so, I contacted her attorney, and her attorney had said at that point she hadn't spoken with her, had no contact with her at all, and actually at that moment said, you know, I don't even think she's going to do this. Which is fine. If she doesn't want to do the adoption, I mean, I'm completely capable and okay with paying child support, you know, until he's 18 years old. But when she came to me with the idea of doing the adoption and I agreed to it, I thought in good faith, when she said they couldn't afford it, that I paid for it, that they would go through with it. And then I called her and asked her why she wasn't doing it. It was at that point that she said it was because, you know, financially they couldn't do it.
So they needed your child support to help support the household?
Sure, correct. And also at that point, I had contacted Michelle to find out what was going on, and then she told me she was moving. According to our document, she has to give me 30 days written notice of moving. I had no idea she was going to move until I contacted her to ask her what was happening.
Well, that may be written into your contract. However, since you haven't seen your son in 3 years, it really doesn't make much difference. Mr. Harris, are you working now?
No, not at the present time.
Are you working now?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
For whom?
I work for a company that deals with clinical technology services for a hospital.
How much do you earn?
$15.25 an hour, and I support all 5 of us.
No, you don't support all 5 of you. He helps support all. When was the last time your husband worked full-time?
I would
where?
say it was for a landscaping company in Olympia, and it was a year and a half, 2 years ago.
We're not sure of the exact date.
Well, she says it's a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Why is that ridiculous?
It's ridiculous not to work when you have 2 children. When did you move?
We moved in March of '06.
So you moved from, just a minute, so you moved from one place where he can't get a job for a year to another place, and now he's still not working.
No,
Doesn't
Your
that
Honor,
clue?
that's not exactly correct. I worked for a company in Portland as a steam cleaner. I did that for 2.5 months. I also worked doing mill shutdowns for a temporary job. It's not like I haven't worked.
So I'm glad you're working. I'm glad everything is wonderful with you. The strong probability exists that they're not going to let you off the hook so fast.
Ma'am, can I add something, please?
Yeah.
The reason why they told me why he's having a hard time finding work and why they couldn't do the adoption is because when they moved to Portland, Michelle told me that he had a warrant out for his arrest. She told me that's what kept us from going into court. Her attorney told me that when they moved to
Just
Portland...
a second. Well, that's very easy to
Am I in
figure
jail?
out. Shh. Turn around. What was the warrant for, Miss Harris? I didn't speak to you. I didn't speak to you. I said, what was the warrant for, Mrs. Harris?
His warrant was for parole violation from 1996.
When did you know about his parole violation?
We didn't know about it until we moved to Oregon. However, we discussed past legal issues with the attorney, and she said that that shouldn't make a difference. Also, just to clarify, we had no agreement with him to pay him back.
Well, but no, just a second. But you had an agreement to pursue the adoption.
Correct.
That's your agreement.
I didn't.
And
You wanted my son.
No, just Mr. Carson. Shh, Mr. Carson.
Sorry, ma'am.
I'm just saying, Your Honor, at no time had I talked to Mitch about the adoption.
Then you can sit down, because you're not working anyway. She's working. She'll pay. Sit down. Sit down. You had an agreement with him that in exchange for giving up his parental rights, your husband would assume the parental responsibility, which includes support. And what happened was it became very secondary in your mind with all the other trouble that you have. You have now 3 children in your house. You're working at $15 an hour. Not great. But you can't do that. If he's giving you the money to pay for the lawyer, which he did, because you agreed to pursue this matter and then change your mind, in my mind, you've breached an agreement with him.
We never made an agreement to...
Just a second. That's why you're here.
We never said we wouldn't do the adoption, Your Honor. Circumstances
Then when you... Listen to me. When you move back to the jurisdiction where he can use the lawyer that he paid for, you could sue him for the money. Right now, you're going to pay for the lawyer. How much was it?
The total amount that we ended up paying the attorney was $1,062, ma'am.
We weren't living off of his child support. We honestly wanted to do the adoption.
Well,
and
listen
when we
to me, Miss Harris. You've been married once?
Twice. This is my second marriage.
You weren't married to him so that you had, I would consider, 3 relationships. 2 marriages, 1 relationship. Is that fair? You have 3 children?
Yes.
How old are you?
I am 34.
The likelihood of this man celebrating your 25th wedding anniversary is 0. So that, as far as I'm concerned, it would be very unwise for him to adopt this child. Judge him for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,062.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Brooke Beeson claims former roommate Kimberly May broke their lease when she moved out of their apartment.
How old are you?
21.
Who is this?
My mother.
Thank you. Miss Beeson, you and the defendant leased an apartment together. Were you both in college at the time?
She dropped out of college. I was still attending, yes.
And according to your complaint, she moved out.
Yes.
On the lease. She moved out on the lease, and in addition to moving out on the lease, she, according to you, defamed you by telling certain things to your landlord about what was going on in the apartment. You want to be compensated for both.
Absolutely.
Half of the rent and the defamatory remarks that she allegedly made to the landlord.
Yes.
When did you sign the lease?
May 2006.
And you had known each other for a long time, according to what I read in the complaint. So this wasn't new. And it was just the 2 of you in the apartment?
Yes.
When did you move out?
June 29th, 2006.
Okay. Now you're going to tell me why you moved out.
Due to bad circumstances.
No, well, that's...
Drug use, and she clearly disrespected me after asking her plenty of times, her friends in and out of my stuff, my bathroom. I had to put a lock on my door because I didn't feel comfortable leaving my own house, and that's why I left.
Let me try to sort it out a little bit. You felt uncomfortable because her friends were coming to the house, and you felt uncomfortable with them.
Yes.
Why?
Because they were up all hours of the night using drugs.
Did you ever see anybody using drugs?
Yes.
Who?
Brooke and her friends.
What kind of drugs?
Marijuana, and that's all I saw.
Did you ever smoke marijuana?
Yes.
So they were up, they were partying, they were smoking marijuana.
That I know of. That
you know of. A substance that you also indulged in.
Not at the apartment.
Wherever. It's somebody's apartment. You didn't do it in the street, right?
Right.
Well, you didn't do it at school, right?
Right.
So you had to do it in somebody's apartment, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you had to put a lock on the door.
Yes.
Your bedroom door.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me when you put a lock on the bedroom door.
In May.
Tell me why.
Because I didn't feel my belongings were safe. She had people in and out of our apartment.
Miss May, did you have any rules that you set up to this apartment with Miss Beeson?
No.
Well, then you have a problem, madam. Your problem is you have to be a big girl.
I know that now.
And if you sign a lease on an apartment, you can't just pick up your marbles and go home. So far, you haven't given me one valid reason why you would be entitled to break a lease. You're alleging that you saw her and her friend smoking marijuana. Whether you did in the apartment or not, I don't know, but you certainly did it in somebody else's apartment, so you weren't frightened of drug use because you did it yourself.
Not at the time. Before I have.
Whatever. I didn't say at the time, before or after. So you weren't certainly frightened of what you saw there because it was something you had indulged in yourself. I mean, I can understand you not being happy if there's lots of partying going on. Did she complain to you about that? It's not an answer. Did she complain to you about people being in the apartment? Or...
Yes.
So what did you say to her?
They're mutual friends of ours, so at certain times, the same friends that would be there with me would be there when I would come home. Late at night, they would be over with her.
Well, why didn't you try to work it out? Sit down and work out a scenario where at 1 o'clock in the morning, everybody goes home, whether it's your friends or her friends. Why didn't you try to work it out?
Because it wasn't an ongoing thing. It wasn't day to day. It wasn't day in, day out. So it was never a continual issue.
Well, but she made it an issue. When did she tell you she was moving out?
Never told me. Moved
That's a
out.
lie.
Vacated the premises
without any warning. Said she needed to talk to me the morning before I came home from work. I said, you know what, I have school all day. I'll be home at 2 o'clock. I have to be at work at 5. If you want to talk when I get home from school, that's totally fine. If you want to meet me, I'll be here from 2 to 5 before I go to work. Came home, didn't say a word to me. I went to work, came home, and all of her things were gone.
What efforts did you make to find another roommate to take over your lease?
I told her 3 weeks prior to my moving out.
What efforts
did you
make
any?
Well, you have to. You can't just walk out on a lease. Now, what proof do you have that she made statements to the landlord about you?
I have a document that she had given to the apartment complex, if you want to look at this.
That she signed?
That she has signed, yes, absolutely.
I'd like to see it. Who prepared this letter for you?
Me and my mom read it.
Well, you can't just say, I accept no responsibility for rent or expenses relating to the apartment after June 29th, 2006. You have a contract with them, and you have a contract with her. And you made absolutely no effort to find another roommate. You have to be a big girl. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Well, why did you help her write this letter? Stand up when you talk.
Because she needed to write it at the time.
What do you mean she needed to write it at the time? I don't understand you. Did you know your daughter smoked marijuana?
She had before.
She had before?
Yes,
She
I did
probably
know.
had during, and I guarantee you she does afterwards, maybe not in the apartment, but it's not something that frightens her because she does it herself. And that's the only drug use that she ever says she saw in the apartment. So why would she sort of ascribe any untoward behavior to the plaintiff? It's outrageous. She's a baby, and she shouldn't be coddled by you. You should have told her not to rent the apartment in the first place. You have a roommate now?
No, I do not.
Did you have a roommate?
Yes, I did for 1 month.
So you did have a roommate?
Yes.
When did the roommate move in?
In October. It was a temporary thing. He was moving in and moving out, and I needed the rent, so I told him he could move in for the 1 month that he was transferring places from where he was at to going back to his parents' house. It was an agreement we had from the start. He was the only person I could find, and I needed the money at the time, so any money's better than no money at this point.
Did you put any ads in the paper?
I have not, but I had a roommate lined up that bailed on me last minute, so it's just a bunch of...
Who's paying?
Mother does. I'm a full-time student.
When is the lease up?
May of 2007.
Well, you better see if you can find another roommate.
Absolutely, I'm in
What's
the
the
process.
rent?
$1,400. It's actually $1,391.
Okay, so it's $700 each. Is that right?
Not including utilities.
She moved out in May. Did you pay May's rent?
Yes.
Did you pay June's rent?
Yes.
You didn't pay July?
No.
Didn't pay August?
No.
Didn't pay September?
No, but she wrote me a letter saying that she was having a roommate move in September 1st, 2006, and I responded to her
Let me see.
letter.
Give her both of them.
Okay. Well, you wrote this letter to her telling her exactly what she owed and that your daughter fortunately had found a roommate that will be moving in September 1st. You wrote the letter.
However, can I?
Yes.
Okay. Brooke had a girl from work lined up that had given us a $200 deposit, which we, on the itemization, showed that she had given us. The girl ended up not moving in. So we deducted $200, the deposit she had given, and we did get a deposit from her to secure us, but it didn't remove Kim from the lease. Anyways, she did not get another roommate until Chad moved in for 1 month. She has contacted everybody. She let the apartment know that she would move out if they could find somebody. A tenant had come to me regarding something, and I had tried to work something out where she could even take over the apartment so Brooke could move back home.
I got you. You have 3 months' rent so far. We have October that this fellow moved in, and you have November and December. That's 5 months' rent. It's $3,500. So far, that's what you owe her. And although I'm not happy with the letter that you sent, the letter does not indicate that the plaintiff is the one that was using drugs in the apartment. It says that there was drug use in the apartment. It doesn't describe that conduct particularly to her. Could have been other people, it could have been guests, etc. So I'm not awarding you any money for defamation. Right now, the entire lawsuit has not come to fruition yet. It's not become fixed yet because I am hoping that she will find a roommate.
So am I. I'm paying the rent.
Right, I got it. You can't do that. And your daughter can't do that. She's got a responsibility. Why should this mother be responsible for the rent? Let your daughter move in, she'll move out. You want to do that? Stand up. Move over. The apartment's lease goes until next May. Right now, Miss Beeson's mother has been footing the bills for your daughter's share of the rent. She's perfectly prepared for her daughter to come home and live at home. You want to assume the responsibility from January until May for your daughter? She'll move out and your daughter can move in. That way she can be safe. She can have only her own friends. How about it?
No, I would not.
Why?
Why?
Why is my question. Why is it okay for this lady to pay all the rent when your daughter defaulted and not for you to pay all the rent when your daughter defaulted?
Well, first of all, that lady doesn't have to pay anything. I don't have to pay anything.
Sure
They're
you do.
two adults.
No, just a second. You made an excuse for your daughter and you helped her craft a letter to get out of a lease. Your daughter had no right to move out.
May I say something? What if I find her roommate?
No question. That's not my question. My question is, you can't stick her with the rent. What, instead of her having to pay you any money since she's already out that money, you move in. You find a roommate. You don't have to find her a roommate. Find yourself a roommate that you're happy with. How about it?
No.
Yeah,
May I say something?
Right. Right. She's a big baby. And don't encourage her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,500. That's all.
Rhonda Vito is suing the mother of her son's friend, Anna Betancourt, for the cost to fix a dirt bike. Rhonda claims Anna's son, 17-year-old Sean, rode her son's bike without permission and wrecked it.
Miss Vito, which of these two young men is your son?
Anthony, the first one.
How old are you, Anthony?
16.
How tall are you?
6'1".
What do you feed him?
Pasta.
Pasta? Which one of these two young men is
Sean.
am I going to grill today?
Sean.
Ms. Betancourt, and this is your son, whose name is Sean?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Vito, it is your complaint that Ms. Betancourt's son drove your son's dirt bike without permission, got into an accident, and damaged the bike. You believe Mrs. Betancourt should be responsible for fixing the bike. Ms. Betancourt said that her son did have permission to ride the bike, that he was injured, that you're just lucky she's not suing you for the injuries because he broke an ankle. Is that right?
Yeah.
And your son gave her son permission to ride the bike, so that's it. Shouldn't be here. Anthony.
Yes.
Anthony, when were you riding the bike when it was running? What date was the last date before this incident? You have to look down at a piece of paper?
No.
What date?
May 8th.
And where were you on May 8th?
We were at a track in Brockton, riding.
And is it a track where they just have dirt bikes?
Yes.
Who was there?
Myself, Nick.
You have to speak up. You hear I'm speaking? I'm projecting. You can hear me, right?
Myself, Nick, and Dennis.
Dennis, that would be you.
Yes, Your Honor.
But Sean wasn't there.
No.
This was after school, or there was no school on that day?
It was after school.
What time?
About like 3:30 to 5:30.
Okay. Now, you're going to tell me what happened.
Myself, Nick, and Dennis were riding. My bike wasn't working right, so we drove to my other friend's house. I tried fixing it, but it didn't work, and Sean asked to ride it.
Okay, now Sean was at your other friend's house?
Yes.
They were just hanging out?
Yes.
So far, are we correct, Sean?
Yes.
So up to this point, our stories are in sync, right? Sean asked if he could ride the bike.
Yes, and me and Nick said no, and I was putting the tools away, and he got on the bike and with no helmet and just left.
Why did you say no?
Because the bike wasn't working properly.
Is that the reason you left the track?
Yes.
Did you have a bike with you that day?
No, Your Honor.
Did you have a bike with you that day?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you had your own bike?
Yes.
He's petrified. All right, so he got on the bike without a helmet and took off. Go ahead.
About 5 minutes after I saw him, I tried waving him over, and he kept going.
Well, what was he going around in a circle?
Yeah, like he went around the block. I saw him, I waved him over. He didn't come over. And about 10 minutes later, he came back with a broken ankle.
By the way, state of Massachusetts, are you required to ride with a helmet?
Yes.
You're also 16, Sean?
17.
17? So you're older than he is?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I start eating more pasta.
I don't like pasta.
Okay, let me hear your version. You're at your friend's house. He comes by with his bike. Go ahead.
He came by with his bike. They were fixing it. Dennis rode the bike.
Talk back. Came by, and they were fixing it.
Yes.
Were you outside when they were fixing it?
No, I shut up there. I got out after they were done fixing it, and I came out and...
Well, how did you know they were fixing it?
Because they told me that after.
After what?
I crashed.
After the crash, not before.
No.
So you showed up after they had been fooling around with the bike.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then Dennis was riding it, and then when he stopped riding it, I asked if I could ride it. He said no. I asked him again, he said no, and then I just hopped on the bike and rode it. Because I rode it again, so I didn't really think it was a big deal.
Did you tell that to your mother?
No.
No, ma'am.
He didn't tell that to you?
No, ma'am.
He had an epiphany here. Right?
Yeah.
Sean, you had an epiphany here, right? You know what that word means? Change of heart. He had an enlightenment. So this is the first time your mother's hearing that he said, no, you can't ride the bike. Now, do you think that if your mother knew that you didn't have permission to ride this bike, that we would be here today? You stole the bike, right? If you ask the owner of a bike, a car, something, can I use your vehicle? And they say, no, you can't. You say, oh, I'm going to use it anyway. Go get rid of your tools. While you're getting rid of your tools, I'll get on the bike and ride it. Sean, what do you have to say for yourself?
I don't know.
Miss Betancourt, you changed your mind? Your son rode the bike without permission. He actually stole it. He was told he couldn't drive it. You think he's responsible for the damage he caused?
But, Your Honor, I also have medical bills that my insurance is not covering.
Well, let me ask you this question, Miss Betancourt. Let's say your son was walking down the street on his way home, and he saw a red Corvette convertible. And he got into the car, because the keys were there, got into the car, and he took off with the car. And he crashed it, and he got hurt. You think that the owner of that car would be responsible for your medical bills?
No, but also what I didn't finish is that what they're charging me, they're also charging me for part that was fixed that had nothing to do with the accident. And Dennis is the one who took the bike to the shop. And some of the chains and the stuff was worn out during all the periods that they were riding the bikes. So it had nothing to do with the accident.
Well, how much do you believe you are responsible for of the bills that they had?
If we take that out, it would be $355.78.
How much did it cost you to fix the bike?
$631.10.
But the bike wasn't working before he got on the bike properly.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So it was going to have to go in to be fixed, because the reason you didn't want him to ride the bike is because it wasn't working properly.
Yes.
So at least part of that $631 that it cost you to fix the bike was as a result of wear and tear on the bike, or something that had absolutely no relation to the accident. So what has to do with the accident? Anthony?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, she knows. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $355.78. Good. Truth will out. Aren't you glad I didn't have to call on you?
No.
That's all. Thank you.
Christina Smith claims ex-boyfriend Gerald Ware Jr. owes for his share of a cruise vacation, utility bills, and a loan to retain an attorney.
Ms. Smith, you and the defendant dated for a period of time and signed a 6-month lease together in August of 2006?
That is correct.
How long had you been dating before you decided to move in with him?
I met him in March, so I was dating under 6 months.
I ask that not because it's particularly relevant, but I'm conducting my own sociological study. I want to see how quickly it is that people make this
mistake.
Right.
Yes.
In any event, your lawsuit says that you moved in August.
Yes, August 5th.
And you moved out in?
September 25th.
Right, so the living together at least saved you a bad marriage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good. It is your claim that Mr. Ware is responsible for half of a cruise that you booked with his consent and his agreement to pay for half of the trip. It was a non-refundable amount of money. It was $2,000, $1,000 for you, $1,000 for him, which, of course, he didn't go on.
Correct.
Because the cruise was scheduled for?
October 13th. October 7th, excuse me.
Did you take anyone else with you?
No.
So you had the cabin all by yourself?
I sure did.
So let's deal with that first. You moved in August. Things started to go downhill right away. I don't have to know the why. It was not good. You were both not unhappy with the separation. Is that right?
Yes.
You moved out, but you continued to pay the rent. Your half of the rent.
I did.
Does she still continue to pay her half of the rent?
Up until December.
I think she's a princess. And you continued to live there?
Yes, I did.
All by yourself?
And my kids, when I had them for visitation, yes, I did.
Well, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So you had a great place to live. Are you still living there?
Until January 6th.
And then what happens?
I received a 30-day notice.
Why?
Because she didn't pay her, as it states in this letter, she didn't pay for December's rent.
Why didn't you pay?
I paid my half.
Why didn't you pay the whole thing?
Because I have a written agreement from her that says that she would pay the half as long as I didn't
I'm telling you, if she's paid September, October, and November, and she hasn't lived there, and you've lived there with your kids, so how old are you?
Me, 37.
Why don't you take care of your own responsibilities? Where are you going after January? They gave you a 30-day notice. Where do you intend to go?
Oh, I'll find a place. No, none in mind right now.
What do you mean you have none in mind?
Oh, I'm looking.
How much rent do you pay?
$675.
Is that the entire rent?
No.
Or just your half?
That my half.
Okay. When you moved in to that apartment, where had you been living just prior to that?
With my boss, as well as Christina.
With your boss?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I am a cabinet installer.
And you lived in your boss's house?
Yes, I did. As well as he's a friend as well.
Before you lived with your boss, where did you live?
I lived with my friend, me and a friend named Brian.
And when you lived with Brian, how much rent did you pay?
About $300 a month, because it was just for a room.
How many children do you have?
2.
How much child support do you pay?
The child support is, my son is not legally mine. I accepted that responsibility when he was born, and after she went after his real father for child support, so they dismissed that court order, and for Bella it's $246, I think it is.
How much child support do you pay?
$246.
He doesn't pay child support.
When was the last time you paid child support, Mr. Ware?
It's been a couple years because my ex-wife put a letter in. She said that when she required me to pay child support, that I didn't see the kids regularly, so she wrote a letter to the district attorneys in Sacramento County.
That's hearsay. I just asked you a simple question. When was the last time you paid child support? You said several years ago.
Yeah.
You just told me that you used your apartment, sir, this apartment that you were living in and having half the rent paid by the plaintiff for both yourself and your children when you had them. So clearly you were seeing your children within the last 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
But you haven't been paying child support.
No.
Is this your boss?
Yes, it is.
How did I know that? Are you paid on the books or off the books?
On the books. I'm 1099.
And how much was your 1099 last year?
I didn't work for him last year.
Yes, he did.
Mr. Ware, he doesn't even want to stand up anymore and get involved with this, sir. Did you file tax returns last year?
No, I did not.
You just told me you lived with your boss last year before you moved in with her.
Last year.
What's your last name, sir?
McWee, ma'am.
You want to leave now?
No, ma'am.
You might want to rethink that. You get me? Good. So you're paid in cash and you don't pay taxes and you don't pay child support. You're supposed to pay your own rent.
I did. My half.
Well, you didn't pay, no, your own rent. Listen to me, Mr. 37 years old. You live in this country. You work for him. You're supposed to pay taxes like everybody else, which you don't do. You have children, 2, or maybe just 1. They come to visit you, and yet you have no fiscal responsibility for them. The rest of her lawsuit is, she says, A, she made a small loan to you for a lawyer. I'm not so interested in that, $199. But she said that you had no credit. Well, the reason you have no credit is because you allegedly have no income. So that she put all the utilities in her name. She put all the utilities in her name, left them in her name because she had no credit, and you didn't pay the bill, even when she was paying her half of the rent. Sir?
I was giving her half my check. She went over to my boss's house and received money from them.
You mean after she moved out?
After she moved out?
I'm talking about after she moved out.
After she moved out, I told her she threatened to turn everything off. I told her to go ahead and turn everything off.
Oh, she should have.
So?
And she didn't.
And she didn't.
And did you turn the lights on?
I
Listen
couldn't.
to me. Did you turn the lights on?
Yes, I did.
Did you turn the stove on?
Yes,
did you
I did.
plug in a coffee maker?
Yes, I did.
So you used the juice. When you use the juice, you have to pay for it. Did you use the telephone?
Yes, I did.
If you use the telephone, you have to pay. If you're an American citizen and you use the roads and you use the other services that the government provides, you have to pay taxes. How much were your electric bills and service bills after you moved out? I'm talking about just for him.
Yes, the dish bill came to $292.23. I actually put a passcode on there around October 20th when I found out there was adult movies rented on there.
He had to do something to keep himself occupied. Next.
Sure West bill was $260.14.
Is that it?
Yes, and if you're not going to do the attorney bill.
No. $552, rounding it out, Bert. Thank you. Is that right?
Yes.
No sense. Good. $552. Now, let's talk about the cruise, Mr. Ware. You told her to go ahead and book the cruise?
The cruise was planned before I met her. We had been talking about it amongst friends before she moved in, and her sister is a friend of my boss.
Did you tell her to go ahead and book the cruise?
No, I did not.
That's not what you said here, sir.
My boss's wife booked
That's not what you said here, sir, in your answer. Just because you broke up doesn't mean that you don't pay for half the cruise. You pay for half the cruise. What?
In order to get the cruise, you have to do double occupancy.
Don't speak to me sitting down.
Sorry, ma'am. We told them both prior to this going that if anything happened, that you have to pay double occupancy to get on this cruise in order to get all the cabins together. So I said, if something happens, you can't change it, you can't get the money back, and they were both aware of that.
You made that clear to both of them?
Correct.
Terrific. Thank you. You can sit down.
I gave Gerald every opportunity to go on that cruise.
Listen, it happens. He's got to pay for half the cruise because you're out the money. Do you understand?
No, I don't, but...
Well, it's very, very easy, sir. There's no way that you wanted to go on this cruise, and there's no way that you were going to share a cabin together. Somebody was going to go on the cruise. Now, it is my sense that if you said to her, I will give you the $2,000, I will go on the cruise instead of you, she would have said, great. No. She would have said to you, great. You go on the cruise, and I won't. But right now, she had $2,000 invested in this cruise, and she hadn't seen a penny from you.
Yes, she had, ma'am.
Oh, really? You paid for some?
I was giving her all my checks that I was receiving from him.
Checks?
To pay for,
Listen to me.
well, cash, to pay for credit card bills that were outstanding when we met.
We're not talking credit card bills, sir. We're talking about the cruise.
That's how the cruise was paid, on credit card.
How much money were you giving her?
I was receiving $500 a week.
In what?
In cash.
I love it when a game plan comes together. Just think of it this way, sir. It's your contribution to taxes. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,552.
Judge,
That's all.
I have some joy. I want to give back to his daughter.
Perfect. That's all. Thank you.
Crystal Reagan is suing her cousin, Amy Ross, for stealing cash from her home. Amy denies the charge.
Miss Reagan, Miss Ross is your cousin, and it is your claim that she stole some money from your house.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Ross denies that she stole the money from your house. How much money do you claim she stole?
$380.
And when do you claim she stole that money?
December the 17th.
And where was the money?
It was in this folder. I've got a table by my chair, and it's right behind the table.
It was in your house?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was in the house?
My husband, myself, Justin had come over to get some gas money.
Justin is your nephew?
And then Amy.
And what proof do you have, Miss Reagan, that Miss Ross took your money?
Well, what it is that day she come over. Justin had come over. He called first, said, could he come over and get some gas money? I keep up with all of his bills because he's young. He don't know how to do it yet. I've got a car with my name on it that's his, and...
I got it. So he wanted to come over and get some gas money that you were holding for him.
Yes. He came over, got $35, which left $380. I keep a book where I write down every time he comes over to get money. And he got it, he left. Amy was there. She asked me, why does he come over here to get gas money? I explained to her I keep his money. For what reason? Well, how much does he got in there? And I said just $380.
I'm sorry.
And then after asking me that, I didn't think anything of it. She was like, well, it must be nice to be 17, have a brand new car, a nice apartment, and have money. And I was like, well, he's just getting started. That was the end of that. She stayed a total probably about 3 hours that day. We did go to Lowe's probably about 3 hours after her being there.
Who went?
Me and Amy.
Two of you?
The two of us, yeah. And she was talking about in that time frame how broke she was. She didn't have any money. She was getting one more check before Christmas and wasn't able to get her kids anything for Christmas. Didn't know if she had gas money to get back home. But when we went to Lowe's, she bought a hammer and pulled out a $10 bill, which I didn't think nothing of it either. You know, I say I'm broke all the time but still have money. And so she dropped me off. I didn't talk to her no more for about 3 days.
And then you found your money missing?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the proof that you have.
Well, no, that's just the story. The proof is that whenever I called Lisa, her sister, to ask her, did you and Amy happen to have went shopping? Do you know of any money? Because we all know that she's broke. Do you happen to know of any money that she come up with recently? She didn't answer the phone. I left a message. I didn't tell her anything. I just told her to call me. When she did call me, she was like, oh, girl, I know what's going on. Amy done told me all about it. And then that's when she comes in.
Tell me your last name.
Durham.
Miss Durham, what do you know about this missing money?
Amy had called me, and we just were talking, and I said, well, oh, Christy had called this morning, and she left a message. I need to call her back. And she just said, oh, girl, I know why she called. She thinks I stole her money. And I said, what? And she said she thinks I stole her money, but I didn't do it. And she's threatened to get fingerprints off that book. And the only time I touched that book was to get paper out of it to get to make a Christmas list for my children.
And she said that she had told me that on the initial call whenever I called her to ask her about that, because I did ask my husband about it first, and then I asked Justin, are you sure you did not take any money out of this folder? And I knew he didn't, but I knew I needed to ask first before I called Amy to ask her about it. And all she did was just go off, fly off the handle, say, no, I didn't take it. I can't believe you accused me of that. And I said, well, all I'm saying is my brother-in-law is a sergeant. I'm going to have it fingerprinted because it is plastic. Bluffing the whole time, hoping she would come up and say, well, you know, and then she told her, kind of like giving her a reason why her fingerprints would be on it. But she never told me that.
That was the reason why.
What was the reason why? You went into that folder.
Okay.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
You went into the folder to get some addresses for a Christmas
I was
list?
sitting in her rocking chair in her house.
I don't care where you were sitting. I don't care
Yes,
if you were
ma'am.
sitting on a stool, on the floor, or whatever.
No,
My
I
question
wasn't.
to you is a simple one. You went into the folder to get a Christmas list.
No, not to get a Christmas list, to get a piece of paper to make a Christmas list.
Okay.
Is what happened.
Good. I have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Who do you live with?
I live by myself.
Where are your children?
They're with me.
Have they always been with you?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are they?
They're 8 and 5.
And how do you support them?
I'm a preschool teacher, and also their father.
How much do you make teaching?
I make about $1,500 a month.
How long have you been teaching?
For 6 months.
Prior to that, where were you working?
I was working at a temporary service.
You have a bachelor's degree?
No, I'm just a preschool teacher at a daycare.
Is this your first job as a preschool?
Yes, ma'am. Well, no, I've worked at another daycare prior to this one.
Did you take the money out of that folder?
No, ma'am, I didn't. And what I have to defend myself on this is I didn't take that money, and she knows I didn't take that money.
She doesn't know. Listen to me. She doesn't know. You may not have taken it.
I didn't.
But she doesn't know.
And I don't have to steal money for my children.
Listen to me.
If I need money, I go to their father.
Listen to me. She doesn't know that you didn't take it, because my sense is that she legitimately believes that you took it.
And then she called my work harassing me. She harassed my boss. She said, because I'm going to let you speak with her because she's in a classroom. She said,
don't tell me what, listen to me, don't tell me what you said to your boss.
Well, she called me at work, and when it first happened, she called me, because this supposedly I went over there on a Sunday. She called me on Thursday morning, about 11.
Okay.
At work.
Now, that's my question. This happened on December 17th, according to you.
Yes, that's when the money was taken.
When did you find the money missing?
The following Thursday. Because
Too long a time, Miss Reagan.
Well, what it is Justin.
Too long a time, Miss Reagan.
And she called me threatening to take my kids away from me.
Listen.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Listen to me. I don't want to hear you anymore. Cry quietly. Okay. It's too long a time, Miss Reagan, between the time that she was in your house and the time you found the money missing. You may say that the only people that were in the house were you and your husband and Justin, but I'm not sure of that. Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many children do you have?
3.
How old are they?
12-year-old, I got an 8-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
And only
and they also live in the house?
Yes.
I don't know who took your money.
Well, can I explain why it was Thursday when I found it?
I don't care why it was Thursday. It was Thursday. The fact that it was Thursday is dispositive, not the fact that you waited until Thursday. I have to determine whether or not there were other people who had access to that folder. According to you, the folder is not locked. It's in plain view in your house. You have 3 children, a 12-year-old.
That didn't even know I took
Listen to
money
me. Whether they know or not, children snoop. So I would say to you that without proof, the first person that shouldn't come into your mind is her. If I were missing money in my house, the first person that I would look at is my 12-year-old. Now, that may sound terrible to you. It's just a fact of life. That's it. So, in any event, as far as the courts are concerned, you need proof positive, dispositive proof, that somebody is a thief. And I, quite frankly, don't find the proof here, nor should you, when there are lots of people who have access to that folder. Does your 12-year-old have friends over occasionally?
No.
I don't believe that.
He don't.
Well, I don't believe that. Then you're not a very good mother if you don't let your 12-year-old have friends
goes
over.
off.
So I don't quite believe that. In any event, you may or may not owe her an apology. She certainly doesn't owe you any money. That's all. Case is dismissed.
22-year-old Ruth Ayala is suing her former friend, 19-year-old Nicole Almengor, for crashing her brand new Toyota Corolla.
Ah, Miss Ayala, how old are you?
22.
Tell me what kind of car you had.
A Toyota Corolla 2006.
Who bought it for you?
I did, with my dad as a co-signer.
Who is this?
He's my witness.
Well, what is he a witness to?
He works with me at Sears, and he's witness because Nicole talked to him several times telling him that she was going to help me with the damage of my car when the accident.
That's your witness. I just wanted to know what he could possibly say. Now I got it. Now, do your father work?
Yes.
I ask you all of these questions because this is the scenario that I got. You had to deliver a car to a sister of yours who lived someplace else. So you ask the defendant, do me a favor, follow me in my sister's car. I'm going to drive my new car. And then when we drop my sister's car off, we'll drive home together.
Right.
So you asked her to do you a favor. She did. You were both very tired or whatever. Did you go to a party the night at your sister's house? Is that right?
The night before the accident.
Yes. You went to a party. You both stayed up late after you had delivered the sister's car.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And when you got into your car, you said to Miss
Almengor,
would you do me a favor? I'm tired. Would you drive? Because I don't feel like driving home. And she did.
Right.
And she had an accident in your brand new car.
Right.
And you want her to pay for half the damage.
Right.
And she says she had an accident. You should have had insurance. And you had a brand new car with no insurance. How do you have a new car with no insurance when you have a loan?
Well, the car in the month when I got my car was on July 12th. They gave me a month with the dealer to have insurance, and afterwards my dad was going to add my car to his policy. So they took pictures of my car on August 26th. So the insurance was in process, which I thought...
Just a second. July 12th, you bought the car.
Right.
The dealer had insurance for 1 month. That's August 12th.
Right.
There's a big gap here between August 12th and August 26th. What were you doing, in hibernation? You were sleeping? No question. From August 12th to August 26th, at least, when they were going to take pictures, you had no insurance. They were giving you insurance for a month so that you could get it all in place in the month. You waited until it was all over to get insurance?
It was in the process of getting the insurance.
You had no insurance. That's your fault. If you had insurance, they would have covered whatever damage you had to the car.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's your fault.
Yes, it's my fault. I know that, and I accept the responsibility, but it was in the process. My dad was going to add it to his policy.
So is it your fault or your father's fault?
It's my fault in the first place.
It's your fault in the first place? Then you got to pay for the damage.
But she was driving my car.
She was doing you a favor. She had an accident. She didn't have it on purpose.
I asked
You
her
asked
to slow
her to
down.
drive. You asked her to drive your car.
Yes, and I asked her to slow down because I knew how traffic was going to get, and she didn't.
I don't believe that for a second. You asked her to slow down because you knew the traffic was going to get bad, so you asked her to slow down?
I asked her to slow down because she was driving too fast.
I don't believe you. I didn't even ask her, and I don't believe you.
Well, I got the police report and the pictures of the damage of the car.
I believe your car was damaged. I believe she was in an accident. I know that if you had had proper insurance on your car, the insurance would have paid for the accident. She wasn't being reckless. You asked her to drive. Why didn't you drive home?
I asked her, is she mine? She said no.
That's not why didn't you drive your car home?
Because I wanted to rest. I was tired.
So you wanted to rest or you were tired. Did you go to sleep in the long ride home?
No, I didn't.
You mean you kept your eyes open?
Yes.
And you should have driven. Listen, when you're very tired, everybody knows if you're really tired and you get into a car and you've been up partying the night before and somebody else is driving, you're out. As soon as that hum starts to go, I'm getting tired as I'm telling the story.
I just think it's just fair for her to help me with half, because if it would have been me driving her car and getting on the accident, she would expect me to pay with half.
She may. I think you and your father ought to split it. She was in an accident. Accidents happen. Your father is older than you are. He should have made sure that if he co-signed for a car for you, that car had insurance.
We don't live together. I don't live with my father.
I don't care whether you live with him or not. It doesn't matter whether you live with your father or not. Your father chose to co-sign for a car for you, 22 years old, hardly old enough to be out of the house on their own. And if he chose to co-sign for a car for you, he should have had the brains to make sure it had insurance. Tell me about the accident.
Well, on the way back to Bakersfield, we were involved in an accident. It was more of a freeway accident, and I was driving her car, and when the accident happened, the airbags came out.
How did the accident happen?
While we were driving...
Not we, you were driving.
Well, while I was driving, there was cars in front of us started slowing down and swerving out the way. I guess there was an accident in front of us, and I also tried to swerve out the way, but in the rearview mirror I could see cars coming behind us, and we hit the car in front of us.
Not we, you.
Or I hit the car in front of us.
How many cars were involved in the accident?
It was just one other car and myself.
So the other cars managed to avoid hitting each other?
Yes.
But not you?
No.
Had you been drinking that morning?
No.
Okay, you weren't sleeping at the wheel, were you?
No.
How fast were you going? Do you remember?
I was going the speed limit. I wasn't speeding at all.
Excuse me, Your Honor, she's lying. She wasn't going the speed limit because if she would have been going the speed limit, she would have had enough time to brake.
I actually was going the speed limit.
Listen, I don't have any proof whether she was or whether she wasn't. Whether she was...
I have the police report. It says on the police report.
That what?
That it was her fault because of speed.
Let me see the police report.
There was nowhere in the police report that I admitted to speeding at all.
I just want to read the police report. Both cars involved in the accident were traveling at about the same rate of speed. And these are all approximates, according to the police. One car was going 65 miles an hour, one car was going 70 miles an hour. Both cars acknowledged, both the one that she hit and the other car acknowledged that traffic started to slow down ahead of them, and it was an accident. There's no indication here that she was driving at an excessive rate of speed. I'm sorry, Miss Ayala, the responsibility is yours. If you have a brand new car, you're supposed to make sure that that brand new car is covered by insurance so that if you have an accident, the insurance company pays for it. And if you're not able to drive home, not able because you were up late partying, you wait another day. You wait another 6 hours before you go home and you drive your own car home. You know, you have to be grown-up if you're going to drive a brand new car. If you're going to drive any car, you have to be a grown-up. And you have to take steps to ensure that if you have an accident, fortunately, no one was seriously injured in this accident. But I'm going to tell you something. If somebody was seriously injured in the accident, the driver ahead of you, you and your father would lose your house because you're driving an uninsured car. So not only don't you have collision, you don't have liability. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, now you understand it. You get it. Case is dismissed. That's all.
David McLaughlin and Rachel Browning say former landlords Michael Moreland and Janae Cooper owe for the return of a deposit and for false charges made to police. The defendants are countersuing for rent.
Okay. According to the complaint, you rented a house from the defendants. You gave them a deposit in order to move in. You moved in. You said the house was in deplorable condition. You want your deposit back. You want hotel stay and punitive damages for filing false charges against you with Child Protective Services. The defendants say that you owe them for rent and something that you stole when you left, right?
Yes.
That's what the case is about. Okay. You have children together?
No.
You have children who lived in the house?
Yes.
How many?
Two, my daughter Michaela, who's 5 now, and her son Austin, who's 6.
And how long have the two of you been together?
We've been together a year.
Okay. Where were you living before you rented the house from the defendants?
Back in January, I bought a house with my ex-wife, and she filed for divorce about 2 or 3 days after we actually signed for the house. So I had to move out by March 1st so I could get into a house with Rachel, because I knew Rachel from high school, so...
I mean, are you a couple, or are you just sharing a house?
We're a couple.
Go ahead.
We actually got married January 4th of this year.
Okay, so you had to get out fast of your living situation. Did you answer an ad for the defendant's house?
No, we actually were driving around trying to find something. We knew I don't have great credit.
Listen, you drove around. Was there a for rent sign?
Yeah, there was a for rent sign.
And you called?
I called the number and I talked to Janae.
In what month?
Middle of March. We called about the first 2 weeks of March. And she told me that they had a house for rent, that they had to fix it up a little bit, and that we could look at it the next day. We met them the next day. I looked at it.
And?
It was pretty bad. They had like 3 or 4, maybe 2 or 3 couches in the living room with a bunch of tables, and it was just everywhere. There's stuff everywhere, every room. And he said he'd have it done by the 1st of April. And then he told us the deposit was $1,850, which is the first month's rent, which is $950 plus $900. And he'll have everything done by the 1st. And I told him that I have a 401k check coming in, my thing from work, and it was $1,300, and then I was going to borrow the money from my grandparents and my
Listen,
mom.
that's a little too much information for me. You saw the house. It was in deplorable condition. You said you wanted the house as of when?
As of April 1st.
Did you sign a lease?
We did sign a lease. And,
I'd like to see it.
This is the original copy of it.
Lease that provided that you were going to move in on April the 3rd for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you move in on April the 3rd?
No, he kept saying he had no electricity, he had no water in the house. So we turned on the electricity at the end of March so he could get the paint done in my name. And he had no water in the house, and he owed $300 or $400 for the water. So he had to pay that off so he could get the water running. And then he'd never had anybody come up there to fix it.
Listen to me. When did you move in?
May 3rd.
You moved in a month late.
A month late. My parents came up from New York, and
I don't care if your parents came up from New York, sir. I have some specific questions. May 3rd you moved in, right?
Yes.
And you gave them the money when?
April 10th, because I gave him $900 before April 3rd, and then we gave him the rest of the money when my parents came up. And I got pictures of the house, the way it looked before he actually fixed it.
I don't care what it looked like before he fixed it. That's
Okay.
irrelevant to me. And when did you move out of the house?
First week of September, because he had a deposit, and I was going through divorce, and I had a lot of bills I had to pay.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to give him first and last.
I got him deposit and first month's rent.
So the deposit was for any damage that might be done and first month's rent.
Yes.
So you owed him rent in June.
Yes.
Did you pay him?
No.
Why not?
He never came to fix our house. My daughter's room had no carpet.
Just a second. Was there carpet before you moved in?
No, not my daughter's room.
Is there anything in the lease that provides that he has to provide for carpet?
It has to be livable. That's what it is.
Not everybody likes carpet, sir. Is there anything in this lease that provides that he has to provide carpet?
I'm pretty sure it does say something, and
Show
I don't.
me. I don't want to have to read the whole thing. Take a look. Show me where it says that your daughter's room has to be carpeted.
It says something about the conditions of the premises, including all grounds and buildings and improvements, unless they.
Listen to me. The word carpet.
I don't see carpet in here.
So the lease does not provide for carpet.
No.
Okay, so you didn't pay him for June. Your daughter's room had no carpet.
And her son's room had really old carpet. He said he was going to change in there. It was like shag carpet, and the whole house was completely destroyed.
Listen to me. You moved into it.
Yes.
If it wasn't ready, don't move in. So you moved in and you didn't pay June's rent.
Yes.
Did you pay July's rent?
No. We had no.
Okay. Don't go there, sir.
Sorry.
I don't want to hear, you're fetching and complaining. You moved your family in, and as soon as you moved in, you stopped paying rent. That's what happened. I mean, that's the objective data.
Yeah.
You moved in and you stopped paying rent. No June, no July, no August.
Yes.
And what were you doing with the rent money?
I was putting it toward my bills that I had from my divorce. I had a car that was 2 months behind, and like that. And we had a problem with her insurance and stuff at work. But the house was not livable. My dad.
Listen to me. If the house isn't livable, you move out. If it's not livable, you don't move in. And if it's not livable, you move out. You don't scam the landlord by moving in and saying, now I'm here. Now you can't get me out.
But I had nowhere to live.
That's not his problem. Is he related to you by blood?
No.
Who cares if you have nowhere to live? Go live with a relative. Go live with your mother. Go live with your father. Go live with your sister. Go live with your brother. But don't move into a stranger's house and say, no, I'm not going to pay rent because I got bills for my divorce.
I mean, we gave him $1,800 for the month. He never came and fixed it.
Just a second.
Okay.
I gave you credit for May's rent because he wouldn't have let you move in unless you gave him the 2 months.
Yeah.
Right? So you gave him the 2 months and then you stopped paying him. Outrageous. I mean, you're a squatter. And it's an old scam. You got yourself in, you move yourself in, you say, listen, it's going to take the courts 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get me out. By that time, they're just going to be so happy to get rid of me that they'll just say, go, forget it. And then you move on to some other unsuspected. Outrageous. You get me?
I get you.
Good. If you don't like an apartment, if you don't like a house, you don't move in. Does that sound right to you? You're the police officer, is that right?
Sounds right, Judge.
Right? Nobody's twisting your arm. You don't like the shag carpet? Don't move in. Doesn't mean that much to you. You move in. You want carpet in your daughter's room? Go to Home Depot. Now, the second part of your complaint is that they called Child Protective Services on you.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, we never called Child Protective Services.
Just a second.
They called the police.
Can I ask quite the question, please? Did they call Child Protective Services?
The police did. Once the police came out.
So they called the police.
Yes.
Mr. Moreland,
Yes, Your Honor.
did you call the police?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me why. What month did you call the police?
August or June, somewhere around there.
Well, August and June are 2 different months. Officer,
I'm not sure, Your
Officer,
Honor.
could you stand up, please?
Yes, Judge.
Could you move over there? I know you're not a plaintiff's witness.
Certainly.
But you responded to the location where Mr. McLaughlin and Miss Browning were living.
Yes, I did.
You remember when that was, sir?
It was on June 25th.
And you responded because you got a call about what, sir?
We had a complaint on some photographs containing images of the adults with their children in pornographic poses.
And when you responded to the location, did you find anything?
No, ma'am, we did not. Not anything that related to the complaint.
Okay. Can you describe what you saw when you got to the premises?
When I arrived at the premises, I went inside the residence. The residence was in a messy state. There were boxes every place. It appeared as if somebody was moving out. Some trash, not anything that would be deplorable to live in, but it just appeared to be unorganized and a lot of boxes and packing going on.
But you found nothing untoward?
No.
Were you responsible for calling Child Protective Services?
No, ma'am.
Do you know who did?
More than likely, any reports that we take involving children in a case such as this gets forwarded to CPS automatically.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me, sir?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Okay. What made either one of you believe that there were photographs in there involving children?
There was, Your Honor. I haven't heard from McLaughlin for several months, and he didn't pay me for about 5 months, and he changed the locks on the premises, which on the lease it states here that if you don't pay rent or if you change the locks, I have the right to enter the premises.
Okay.
So I enter the home, and I see in the living room there's mattresses laying on the floor, 5 to 7 digital cameras laying around.
Did you,
Pictures.
Sir, officer, one more thing. When you went into the premises, did you see any mattresses on the floor?
Ma'am, I don't recall if there are any mattresses on the floor. I do remember the complaint of the video cameras. Mr. Moreland believed that there was some type of filming possibly going on involving the children in their rooms. When I responded, I checked on that complaint. I looked at the camera. Nothing that
What kind of
appeared to be-
cameras, sir? Still cameras, movie cameras?
There are several different kinds. Still cameras, some video recorders, camcorders, but nothing.
How many would you say?
Approximately 5 to 7, but they were in broken states. They didn't work. They were not set up on stands. I didn't see any evidence of any type of recording.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you take pictures of what you saw?
Yes, Your Honor, right next to the child's bed. There was an open box of two open boxes, and he also had plenty of time before the police entered the property to dispose of what I seen.
Don't tell me, that's supposition.
That's not carpet. If I like to add some.
These were taken the day that you called the police? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. Officer, would you step up, please?
Yes, ma'am.
This be a fair and accurate representation of the condition of the house when you saw it?
Yes, that does appear to be taken in June.
Thank you. Mr. Moreland was perfectly right to pick up the phone and call the police and have them come to at least look into what was going on in that house. You moved in, according to you, on May the 3rd. This house looks like a disaster area, an absolute disaster area. And I'm not even addressing the pornographic material that's there, which, by the way, you acknowledge that you had in the house, but you say it was, in fact, put away so that the children couldn't reach it. Well, somebody reached it. It may have even been Mr. Moreland, but somebody reached it. I'm not even addressing the pornographic stuff that involved what appeared to be young children, which is weird. The condition of the house would lead a normal person to believe that something wasn't right there. So he had an absolute right to call the police, and the police had an absolute responsibility to call Child Protective Services. So your complaint is dismissed. Now let's get to your counterclaim. You're suing for the rent for the time that they lived there. Rent was how much a month?
$9.50.
When did they move out?
They actually moved out in October. They did not move out in June.
June, July, August, September, October. 5 months. $4,750. Listen, they're scammers.
I know you are.
Period. Squatters and scammers. And based upon the photographs that I saw, not very responsible parents either. Now, you don't mind my not going into this grill that they allegedly took? I don't care about a grill. They owe you for rent. And how much did it cost you, Mr. Moreland and Ms. Cooper, to get them out? Or did they just move?
They eventually just moved, but trying to fix up the house after they left, we had to end up filing a bankruptcy because of the mortgage and everything else wasn't paid. And that cost us $4,200 just to file that.
So you see, when you have a problem with your ex-wife and bills that built up during the divorce, and you go to scam somebody else, what happens is they get hurt. It's a trickle-down effect because they didn't have money to pay the mortgage because you didn't pay the rent and you refused to move out of the house. Perfect strangers had trouble. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, both of you. And I certainly think Child Protective Services should give another look to where you're living now. Where are you living now?
Decatur Township.
You know where that is, sir?
I do, ma'am.
Good. Judgment for the defendant on the counterclaim in the amount of $4,700. Claim is dismissed. That's all.
Anne Marie Fessler claims former roommate James Hill stole money earmarked to bail her boyfriend out of jail. James says Anne Marie is making up a story.
Miss Fessler, this young man is your boyfriend's nephew. Mm-hmm. Your boyfriend was in jail. Is he still in jail?
Yes.
What is he in jail for?
We had gotten into an argument in a restaurant parking lot, and he hit me, and the cops are called, and he was locked up, and they're holding him for old warrants that he had.
Outstanding warrants for what?
One was a shoplifting charge from 95. One was a drug charge and something else. I think it had something to do with the drug charge. I'm not exactly sure what.
Do you know what he's in jail for?
Them fighting all the time, and they're just very dysfunctional.
Well, they may be very dysfunctional, but that's not the only reason he's in jail. In any event, it is your claim that you gave him some money to bail out your boyfriend, that he didn't bail out your boyfriend, but he stole your money. And then you think he took some other money from an ATM card. Some convoluted story. In any event, Mr. Hill said, I took $600 to go and bail out my uncle that you did give him. And when he got to the prison to bail him out, it was more than that. So he gave you back your $600. He doesn't know anything about any other stolen money. He says he doesn't know why you would think that he would take property that belongs to you. Okay, Ms. Fessler, when was your boyfriend arrested for domestic violence?
November 24th of 2006.
And when did you call Mr. Hill about giving him money to go bail him out?
I called him and told him what the bail was. He told me to give him the money that I had, and he would see what he can do about getting the rest to go bail him out. I had $700 on me at the time.
Where'd you get $700 from?
Every month I get $400 from the state. They give me I'm on rental assistance and welfare. They gave me $400. We saved $200 every month for the last 3 months.
Just a second. They give you $400 for what?
For my kids from welfare every month.
How many children do you have?
I have 2.
So the state gives you $400 a month to feed and take care of your children. And you save $200.
I was taking $200 out every month for my kids' Christmas, and the other $200 I was using to buy their diapers and stuff every month.
What other money comes into your house?
That's all the money that we have.
No. Impossible.
They were paying...
Impossible.
They were paying our rent.
You, the boyfriend, the 2 children, living on, according to you, $50 a week, because if they send $400 and you're saving $200, that means that the 4 of you are living on $50 a week, unless the boyfriend is selling drugs.
No, they were paying our rent also. We were getting rental assistance, too, from welfare. They were also paying our rent, and that was $800 a month that they were paying for us.
So they're paying rent. That still leaves you $50 a week to feed.
We were also receiving food stamps from them, too. We were getting $500 in food stamps, too.
So were you selling those?
No.
What were you doing with them?
Buying food and formula for my son and my daughter.
And what was the boyfriend doing?
He was trying to find a job.
When was the last time he actually found a job?
In the summertime.
Doing what?
He was working for a trucking company.
And what happened to that job?
He lost his job because he was late too many days.
Why was he late?
Because I was sick, I was pregnant, so he was staying home to help take care of me and my daughter while I was pregnant with my son.
But you had been receiving welfare for a long time, right?
Yes.
So why wasn't he working and getting you off welfare before you got pregnant with the last baby?
We were having a lot of problems. They were trying to help us out with everything that we could. We were moving back and forth from place to place. We were having problems with my first landlord.
Listen, the government wants to give away their money to families who are actually living together. That is something that I am not going to rectify in my lifetime, although I would like to try. What I resent is welfare is supposed to provide people with their basic necessities, not enough money to save. You know, people who earn $25,000, $30,000 a year can't put away $200 a month because they have to use that money to pay for rent, gas, electric, telephone, medical, all kinds of other things, medicines, you know, so even if you're working and working hard and earning a moderate amount of money, you can't save $200 a month. Here, you're saving $200 a month on the taxpayer for Christmas presents. That's ridiculous, if I believed you. So, go ahead. So you had saved $600 so far for Christmas, and you gave him the $600.
I gave him the $600 and told him to go down and to the bail bondsman, and they said that they would take $600 to get him out. I gave him the $600. I couldn't go down there. They said that I had to be at least 23 to sign the papers. I'm not 23, so I couldn't take the money down there and sign it.
How old are you?
I'm 21. So I asked him to take the money down there. He said his sister would co-sign with him. Supposedly they took the money down there. He called me back and told me that the bail bondsman wanted more money, that a charge from New York came up on him. So I went...
He's some Butte. So he's got stuff from where? Where do you live?
Trenton, New Jersey.
So you live in New Jersey? Well, it's not far from New York to New Jersey. He gets around. What happened to the $600, Mr. Hill?
All right, Your Honor. First of all, everything she said is bogus.
Listen to me. I asked you a question.
Yes.
I said,
yes,
what happened to the she gave you $600.
Yes,
that
did.
you agree with?
Yes, ma'am.
My question is a simple one, Mr. Hill. And I'm getting hungry.
Okay.
You understand? What happened to the $600?
It went right back into her hand, Your Honor.
When?
Right after I tried, my witness here, Miss Irvin, she took me to the police station to bail him out. When they told me it was not enough money, I then, plus 155 of my own, because she asked for extra money to go help pay the fines off before he can get bailed out. I never even asked her for that money back. The following morning, she tells me the money's missing, someone's stolen the money. I have nothing to do with that.
She told you that someone stole that $600?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, he got up in the morning and came downstairs and told me that in the middle of the night he found my front door to my apartment standing wide open. He said the apartment got cold, he came down and used the bathroom, and the door was standing open to my apartment. I was going to my room to go see where my money was. My money was gone. He claimed that somebody came in and took the money.
Miss Fessler, you following what I'm saying, madam?
Yeah,
I want
but
you to
I'm
listen
saying
to me very carefully.
what he's saying isn't
I want
true.
you to listen to me very carefully. We're starting with this premise, Miss Fessler, that the money you gave him, the $600 to bail out your boyfriend, right, was money that the government intended for your children. That's what the taxpayers gave you the money for, to feed and clothe your children, not to use for Christmas presents, and certainly not to use to bail out your drug addict boyfriend. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Now, it matters not to me, and I'm telling this to you from the bottom of my heart. If he stole that money and used it for, I don't know, bought a whole new outfit, had his hair done, I don't know, whatever he did with the money, right? That to me is no worse than what you did, taking the money away from your children to go bail out your boyfriend. What difference does it make to me as a representative of the government? What happened to the misappropriated money? It wasn't meant for your boyfriend. Put your hand down. By giving the money away for bail, you are stealing the money from your children. You can't do that. You get it? Good. So I am totally disinterested with what happened to the $600.
Okay.
All I know is, as a taxpayer, one thing remains firm. The boyfriend is probably where he belongs, and the $600 was going to get misused, whoever used it, you or him. And I don't care. I got other fish to fry today. What difference does it make to me is whose con it is, his or yours? Now, what other money do you claim he took from you?
He took $200 from the Red Cross that they had gave me. My apartment had burnt down on December 4th. We both were given cards from the Red Cross. I had 722. He received 200 and something. I don't know exactly how much. I had asked him to come into the hotel room with me for a minute to watch my kids while I went to go call my mom. I came back in to get my kids. My mom was taking us to New York to go to court with her.
For what?
She's having a problem with 2 of my other sisters in New York.
Listen to me. Get to the story. The Red Cross gave you money, and you claim that he took out some money from that card.
I got to New York to take the money off the card so I could buy my daughter something to wear. My card was not there. He was the only person in the room. I have a police report stating where the money came from. It came from an ATM machine from a store that's right down the street from where he lives. I never told him the money came from an ATM machine from a store. When I called him, he told me that there's no ATM machine in the store down the street. I never said anything about a store to him.
Did you steal any money from her Red Cross card?
No, ma'am. You had the cards that they gave us. They give you and only you an access code to those cards. You understand? She asked me to watch the children. My room was 2 doors down from her. I kindly came, watched the children. How can I take something within a matter of seconds?
They have an envelope. They give you the card.
I don't know. All I'm asking you is, did you take her money?
No, ma'am.
They put the card inside of an envelope. They put the card inside an envelope, and on the envelope is the PIN number. He knew it too because they gave him the same thing.
So we had the same PIN card?
Just a second. Do you work?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
Shh. I don't want to. Who do you work for?
I work for National Fidelity. It's like it's a loan off. I'm a junior loan officer.
Do you get paid a weekly salary?
Yes.
How much?
I earn $600 a week.
Really?
Yes.
What's the name of your boss?
John. Oh, that's his first name.
What's his phone number?
Excuse me?
Excuse me, phone number. What word didn't you understand?
I don't know the phone
What's
number.
your work
offhand.
phone number?
Excuse me? My work phone number.
Yeah, that would be another.
Like,
what word didn't you understand?
Your Honor, everything is stored in my
People deserve each
phone.
other. Miss Fessler, your case is dismissed. Listen, when the government wants to give people money, the government intends for the people to use that money for its intended purpose. The fact that your Red Cross, also money that you never earned, the Red Cross, I'm speaking, you lost your house with money that was given to you by the state.
But he still took it from me.
I don't know whether he did or not.
My sister was there with me. He admitted, he told my sister that he had the money.
Come. Your name?
Tia Dixon.
Where do you live?
I live with my boyfriend.
And what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm going to school right now.
What school do you go to?
Mercer County Community College.
How many credits do you take?
I
would know that.
She just started.
I just started. I start back next Monday for the second semester.
So you're not... Oh, please. All right, you say that this young man admitted he took money from...
He admitted it. When she called him about it, he admitted to her that he took it.
How do you know that?
Because I was...
Don't speak. Because?
Because I was sitting there.
Sitting where?
I was sitting with her.
Yes.
And he admitted that he took the money and he started cussing her out.
What do you mean, you were on the phone?
Yeah, on the phone. She had chirped him up and she said that she wanted her money back. He said, first he started cussing her out. He said, stop calling me about this. You call me about this one more time, you and your kids. He said, I got the money, you not getting it back. And before I even heard all of that, she called me and said she was going to finally get her money back. She went down to the bail bondsman to wait for him.
I'm not talking about the bail bondsman. You didn't understand what I said about the bail bondsman. I'm talking about the ATM.
The ATM card. He went and he took the money off the card. He said that he took it. He admitted
tell you that he took it?
He was on the phone with her and he admitted it.
Just a second. He was on the phone again with her at a different time.
It was a week ago. This happened a week ago. I called him.
Your case is dismissed. I'm not happy with anybody here. Why don't you all spend a little more time trying to do something productive and a little less time figuring out how to scam the system? Goodbye.
Cindy Miller is suing her former landlord, Grover Smith III, for the return of rent. Cindy says on the day she moved into Grover's home, it was raided by police.
Miss Miller, you rented a room from Mr. Smith in his house. According to your complaint, shortly after you moved in, there was a police siege in his house, and Mr. Smith was arrested.
Correct.
You moved out? Wise. Very wise. You want your $500 back?
Correct.
Okay. When did you move in?
I moved in the 10th of December.
Okay. Where had you been living?
In Granada Hills at a different house.
Why did you move out of your last house?
I needed to get another place to live because I was assaulted on Thanksgiving. And that's another case pending, and I was afraid that the assailants would find me where I was. So I needed to find someplace else to go very quickly. So I looked in the penny saver and I found Mr. Grover's house. And it
Were
was
you assaulted during a robbery attempt, or?
No, it was during Thanksgiving at one of my friend's houses. And
okay.
It's a story, it's another case.
Okay. So you found the room through the penny saver.
Right.
And?
And then I moved in on the 10th of December. And
gave him $500.
I gave him
so
$500.
So far correct, Mr. Smith?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Keep going.
And then I moved in about 4:30 on that afternoon on Sunday, and at 8 p.m., 8:30 that night, there was police outside, and they came on the loudspeaker, and they said, everybody out of the house, come out with your hands up.
That was the day you moved in?
The day I moved in, like 4 hours later. And Grover comes and knocks on my door and says, Cindy, we have to go outside because the police want us to go outside. And I said, oh my gosh. So I had no shoes on, no coat, but we went to the front door, and Grover looks at me and he says, now if they ask you, tell them I didn't change my clothes and I never left the house.
He said that to you?
He said that to me.
Why would you ask her to say that, sir?
I don't recall saying that to her.
That would be an odd thing for her to make up.
Yeah.
What were they looking for you for, Mr. Smith?
I was accused of robbing my ex-girlfriend.
On that day?
On the same day that she moved in, yeah.
Were you home that day?
Yes, I was home.
Did you ever go out that day?
Just one time to the backyard. That's about it for a little while.
How
long? Do some
long?
yard work.
How long?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Other than that, you were home all day?
Yes.
Was he home all day?
No.
So, you were all made to come out of the house. You weren't totally dressed when you came out of the house. When did you move out?
I didn't move out for a week because I didn't have a place to go just yet. I called my brother that night after the police let us back in the house, after a big ordeal with the police handcuffed me. I had to raise
handcuffed you?
Yes, I had to go out. I had to go out of the house with my hands raised, with the guns pointed at me. And he was yelling at the police saying, you know, sir, don't make me come out of the house because I've been shot before by the police. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then they handcuffed me and they patted me down and made sure I didn't have any weapons, and they made us stay outside for like an hour.
When did you ask him for the $500 back?
A few days later.
And what did he say?
No.
I don't recall ever hearing from this woman that, you know, that I owed her any money at all.
Well, what did you think she sent you a summons for, sir? She was inviting you to take line dance lessons?
Not today is the first time that I've heard from this woman.
But you got a summons from her? You came to court? You must have known that she wanted her money back. Why didn't you just give her the $500 back?
I didn't know she wanted any money back until today.
Until today? What did you think she wanted? She wanted to date you?
I thought she was still living in my house. She still lives with me. To my knowledge, she still lives there.
What do you mean?
You could have fooled me. I've been gone an awful long time.
I feel like she's lucky that I'm not countersuing her.
Just a minute. Are you telling me she still lives in your house?
Yes. I've gotten no 30-day notice, let alone no 3-day notice.
I don't care whether you got a 30-day notice, a 3-day notice, or a partridge in a pear tree, sir. Did she live in your house?
Yeah, she lived in my house.
And was she sleeping in your house?
As of December 10th.
Oh, get out of here, idiot. Oh, listen, if I could fine you for stupid, I would fine you for stupid. Right now, all you owe is $500. Judgment for the plaintiff.
It was
the
a
amount of
false
$500. That's all. Step out.
Donnie Gatewood claims his daughter, Crystal Gatewood, and her boyfriend, Christopher Mayer, owe for loans. The defendants are countersuing, claiming Donnie put sugar in Christopher's gas tank.
Ma'am, have a seat.
Mr. Gatewood, this young lady is your daughter, and the co-defendant is her boyfriend. They have a couple of children together. They are not married.
Correct, ma'am.
It is your claim that you made a loan to them,
Yes,
a loan in the amount of, I believe, $4,000.
Yes, ma'am.
That they were supposed to pay you back.
Correct.
They didn't do that.
Correct.
Your daughter and the boyfriend say that this was not a loan, this was a gift, because they had fallen on some hard financial times, and that you became more and more obsessed with getting this money back, an obsession that rose to the level of harassment. They are counterclaiming, claiming that you not only harassed them, but that you vandalized Mr. Mayer's car.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
How many children do you have?
I have 2.
How old are they?
They are 2 and 6 months.
Is Mr. Mayer the father of both of those
Yes.
children?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I was a forklift driver.
Well, how long ago were you a forklift driver?
A few weeks ago,
And how long were you a forklift driver?
for about 6 months.
Before that, what did you do?
Forklift driver at another job.
Why do you keep changing jobs?
Because Mr. Gatewood keeps calling on my jobs.
So it's somebody else's fault. It's not your fault that you lose these jobs.
Right.
Mm-hmm. How much did you make at your job?
I was making $8.50
$8.50
hour.
That's not a lot of money.
No, ma'am.
Can't support yourself and 2 children on $8.50 an hour. So what do you do for a living?
I stay at home with the children.
Well, you can't afford to do that.
Well, right before this job, he had a job that paid $12.90 an hour.
$12.90 an hour, a virtual windfall. You think you can support a family on $12.90 an hour gross?
I think it's a pretty good amount.
And when did you lose that job?
November.
And you went right to work for somebody else?
Yes.
When did they call and ask you for money?
About the first part of February of this year, your ma'am.
Now, if you were working in February, what did you need money for? Look, don't go like that. I don't know. If he's working as a forklift operator at a job that he can support a wife and 2 children, girlfriend, excuse me, why did you call your father for money?
Pretty much he continued to lose every job right around 3 weeks. And each time the boss of the job would call and say, I'm sorry, we have to let you go, but there's a complaint that we got from a person calling in. And
a boss doesn't fire him if he's doing a good job because some stranger calls that he doesn't know and says he's not doing a good job. That doesn't make sense, Miss Gatewood. Okay, so you called your father and said that you needed money.
we actually called him and said, could we stay with you for a while until we got something saved up?
So, Miss Gatewood, so you called the person who you thought was responsible for your husband, I keep saying that, I must be old-fashioned, for your boyfriend losing his jobs, job after job after job. So what you did was call him and say, could we come and stay with you?
I asked for me and the kids to come and stay.
I'm trying to get where you're coming from. You call the person who you believe is responsible for all your bad luck and say, can we come and stay with you? And what did your father say?
He said we could stay for a few days, but he'd like to try to find us a place to stay for us to be stable.
Okay. And you said?
I said that'd be great.
And?
We went looking for mobile homes. We finally found one that we could buy for $1,000. So he told us that he would get us a loan to help build my credit.
Great. So you went to the bank?
Yes.
And what happened to the bank?
We got a $4,000 loan that my dad agreed he would pay. I didn't have a job at the time. Chris knew nothing about it.
Chris knew nothing about it. When you moved into this mobile home that you found, he wasn't going to move in with you?
Chris wasn't any part of the loan. He was going to live with me.
Just answer my question.
Yes, he was going to live there.
Well, if he was going to live there, where did he think that you got the money from?
I told him my dad was going to help us out. That's what we were told. It was going to be a gift.
Is that right, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Gatewood, do you want to tell me your version of what happened with your daughter and this money?
Yes, ma'am. At approximately first part of February of this year, my daughter called me crying, saying that she was being evicted from her apartment. Said they had no money for gas, no money for food. It was snowing. They wanted to know if they could come with me. I said, you and the girls can. That young man can't hold a job. He's not welcome. I got off the phone. About 20 minutes later, I called my daughter back. She was upset. I said, I tell you what, I'm going to help you. It's going to be a loan. You got a tax return coming. You can pay me back part of it this year and part of it next year. At that time, that loan will establish your credit. It will also gain you new residency, which it did. We got a trailer for her, 14 by 70, 1974 trailer. Got her a washer and dryer. Got her a couch. Got her a refrigerator. And
when you say you got her, did she go with you shopping?
Yes, yes. We actually purchased the trailer.
The washer and dryer came with it.
The washer and dryer and the couch basically came with
the refrigerator he got from work. Okay, for free.
That's
now,
correct.
You took out, according to you, a $4,000 loan. The trailer was, according to your daughter, $1,000. What happened to the rest of the money?
That's correct. We gave the actual person that we bought the trailer from $2,800.
No, we
for
did
what?
not.
For the trailer and all the belongings in the trailer, for the furnishings.
You have proof of that?
All I have is the loan, ma'am.
Well, I'd have to know what happened with the money.
Well, I gave her the cash to help.
Look at me.
I gave her cash so they could pay their car payment so they wouldn't lose their car.
Okay.
That's not correct.
How much money did your father give you?
He gave us $1,000 for the mobile home, $500 paid for the washer, dryer, couch, and stove that came with it, and $500 towards lot rent and starting all our utilities up.
So he actually gave you $2,000?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
That's not true, Your Honor. We gave the gentleman $2,800, and The other $1,200 I gave to my daughter. I did not give it to him. I gave it to her in cash.
Okay. Now, they're supposed to pay you back with their tax return, but something happened, Mr. Gatewood, according to your complaint, that irritated you. Your daughter said, according to you, she said she couldn't make the first payment.
Correct.
So you went to the bank and made the payment. That was $300 and some odd.
$375, yes, ma'am.
Then what happened, sir?
From that time, she basically asked for me to pay her lot rent as well. And I promptly went straight up there within the hour and paid her lot rent.
How much was the lot rent?
$300.
What were you doing all this time?
I was working.
Why wasn't your rent being paid?
Actually, he went up there himself and paid it off, and
No,
then
but why
gave her
wasn't
a
your
phone
rent?
call.
Listen to me. He would not have known to pay the lot rent unless somebody told him that the lot rent hadn't been paid.
Well, our deal
I'm
was...
not asking you. Why hadn't you paid the lot rent?
Because I haven't had my first check yet.
So your lot rent was not paid. Your food was not paid. If you didn't have any money, so you were using the money, is that right, Mr. Maher, that he gave you?
I never had money.
Well, you were eating, weren't you? You weren't on life support.
She has food stamps that she gets food from and everything.
Why would she have food stamps?
Because
She's on
you keep
Medicaid.
struggling. We're never getting
Well,
it.
if you keep struggling, what'd you have another baby for? You think that that was going to make it easier? Okay. Did you get your tax return back?
Yes.
How much did you get?
I think altogether about $4,500.
And it didn't dawn on you to pay your father back for this loan?
No, we were never told to pay him back.
Well, you're here now. And he must have said something before you arrived here today.
We were told it was a complete gift.
You were told that by your father?
Yes.
So between February and March, when he came to the house and told you that he wanted some money, because that's what you say in your answer, you think he had a psychotic breakdown?
My dad
How many you think he had a psychotic breakdown?
I think he goes through different moments where one day he wants to be our friend and the next day he doesn't.
That's not be your friend, and one day he doesn't want to be his friend until he grows up and accepts responsibility for making 2 children and holding down a job regularly. What I'm asking you is if your father comes and says, look, I took out a loan. I need you to pay me back part of it now and part of it next year, and you just got $4,500, why you wouldn't do that? Why you wouldn't do that? It's your money. You're the one who works. She doesn't work. She gets food stamps.
Every time they went to do something with whatever they were doing with the money or whatever, he came over and got her, and they left and did whatever they did. I stayed at home with the kids those times. Never knew anything, never signed
Well,
anything.
Mr. Mayor, I don't believe that you never knew anything. I believe that he came and got
Well,
her.
I
and
knew
he
where
wanted
they
to
were
know-
going, yeah.
You knew what they were going. You knew what they were going for, right?
Yes.
It's just that Mr. Gatewood didn't want to deal with you. He doesn't approve of the fact that you made 2 children. You have his daughter living from hand to mouth. She's not helping herself, but certainly you're not stepping up to the plate and assuming the responsibility of a head of household. So he doesn't want to have anything to do with you until you grow up. I could understand that. So he takes his daughter. That doesn't mean you're a defendant, because I don't think that you made your arrangement with him. I think you made your arrangement with her.
I made it with both of them, ma'am, and he knows that.
No. Even you tell me that you didn't make the arrangement with him. You went to the bank with her.
Not initially on the phone, ma'am, but when I went over to their trailer or to their apartment before I went to the bank, I told them that that's what was going to happen. I was going to go
Just
to the bank.
because you told them that that was going to happen, sir, does not a contract make.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that.
That's a parent saying, this is what you're going to do.
Sure.
And unless you have somebody said, fine, offer, acceptance, then you don't have a contract.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think your agreement was with your daughter. And I don't believe her when she says it was an absolute gift. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come over to the house to try to get payment.
He came over to the house because we quit talking to him. We just wanted nothing to do with him. He started...
Well, why would you have nothing to do with him before he took out a loan for you as, according to you, a gift for $4,000?
Because...
According to you. Why would you want to all of a sudden have nothing to do with him?
Because they all of a sudden wanted nothing to do with us. They didn't have us come over. My mom never came to see my daughters, nothing.
You're talking about 2 weeks? You're talking about from February to March?
Yeah, my mom would come over at least like twice a week and see them, and she just quit coming over, quit caring.
Oh, you're just a victim. You're a terrible victim. What do you think? You think both your mother and your father had psychiatric problems during those 2 weeks?
No.
Well, what do you think happened?
I don't know. I think they got money greedy and...
Money? They got money greedy?
Yes. I think we deserve that money because as many jobs as my dad has cost Chris.
Miss Gatewood, if you believe the fact that your father caused Chris to lose his job, you better have a head adjustment. He may have convinced you of that, but the truth of the matter is, that's a lot of baloney. A lot of baloney. Do you think I'm a smart lady?
Yes.
They don't keep me around here because I'm 5'6" and gorgeous. They keep me around here because I'm very, very smart. And I have a history with people. Things make sense or they don't make sense. Parents who are faced with the fact that their daughter has had 2 illegitimate children with a man who can't hold down a job, but who seems to be in love with him and seems to at least want to try to make a life with him, don't sabotage that by getting him fired from his job so that their daughter will be out in the cold with her 2 children.
I believe it's a control thing. Like, he always wants to know where I am, everything. He's always tried to bring me back to his house.
No, he's not. You called him and asked if you could come home, and he said you can come home for a while, but I'd much rather see you in your own place. He doesn't want you to come home with the 2 children. He doesn't want to be a parent to your 2 little children.
And he doesn't want to be a grandparent either.
Oh, Miss Gateway, you are truly a victim. Maybe you found the perfect foil. What you are is a big baby who has babies, but who made an agreement with your father, and then he said, I'm not giving him my $4,500. There's no way. I didn't make an agreement with him to give him $4,500, and you don't have $4,500 because you don't work. And that's what started the problem with your father. Because if you believe that your father was the cause of all of your troubles, you have to be crazy to call him up and to say, can I come home with the girls? So you really didn't believe that because you could have called his parents and said, we're being evicted. You didn't call them. You called the terrible people who were sabotaging your life. Grow up, because your tears don't make it with me. I guarantee you, they shed more tears than you did. No. Bad people. They're really bad people. The fact that you picked somebody who can't hold a job and who can't accept the responsibility for children that he made, that's their fault too.
He's there for his kid and he tries.
Well, he shouldn't be there for his kids. He should be working. You're there for his kids. And you should be working too. And in addition to food stamps, as long as you're not married, which is one of the reasons you get food stamps, along with the food stamps, there are federal programs that give you free daycare. Put your kids in daycare and get a job.
I had a bad influence with the daycare one time. One of my daughters got hurt.
Also, somebody else's fault. So get another daycare. And you don't solve your problem by making another baby.
I know.
Maximum limit that you're suing for is $3,000 on your complaint. On your complaint, I'm awarding you the $3,000 because that's the maximum in your jurisdiction. I have a counterclaim. Counterclaim says, Mr. Gateway, that you put sugar in Mr. Marr's gas tank.
That is not true.
Go ahead. Prove it.
We got a call from him about 5 minutes before.
Who's we?
Chris received the call. I was over there and also Chris's best friend. And he said...
But just a second. You were over where?
I was at the house.
But you didn't get the call?
No. I wasn't answering any phone calls.
Fine. Then you tell me what the call was.
I'll answer it. It's Mr. Gatewood, and he says, well, since you guys aren't going to cooperate with me now and blah, blah, blah.
No, I don't want to hear blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah I can get when I speak to my 3-year-old grandchild. I want to hear what he said to you, Mr. Marr.
He said, since you guys don't want to cooperate with me now.
Don't want to cooperate. Those are the words he used? Since you guys don't want to cooperate with me, go ahead.
There's sugar in your gas tank, and I hope it blows up.
So what did you do?
We went out and checked the gas tank.
Immediately hung up the phone, went outside. Me and my friend went outside. I opened the gas tank, see some white substance at the bottom. Checked my friend's truck. There's more on his than mine. I guess he thought I'd bought a new truck. We called the cops. They came over, took a report.
And the cop states in the report that there is.
Don't tell me what the police said. I'll see the police report.
I think it's on like the 3rd page.
Who blacked this out?
The police station does it.
Fill in the blanks. Mayor, that's you. This is what you told the police. Stated that the problem stemmed from a loan that blacked out, co-signed for blank. That's what you told the police. According to Mayor, you have been harassing them for the last couple of days, including calling their home constantly. Prior to calling the police, he was speaking to you on the phone. Conversation quickly became heated and turned into an argument. While they were speaking, you told Mayor he put sugar in the gas tank of his car. Mayor and your friend then checked the gas tank of both their vehicles and saw crystal-like substance, so Mayor called the police. So here, Miss Gatewood, your boyfriend acknowledges that this was a loan. Was there anything wrong with your car?
Yes.
Uncross your hands. You have either the estimate or the cost of fixing it?
No, I don't.
Well, where is it?
I let my friend fix the filter of my car.
So you had no damages?
No, you had to change the whole complete
I had to change the filter of my gas tank.
Well, Where's the bill?
I paid him $100 to go get the filter and fix my car.
So what you're telling me is you have no proof that there was any damage done to your car.
Right.
You owe your father $3,000. Who knows whether he's going to be forever? When people get married in this country today, there is a 52% chance that the marriage will terminate. When people start off like the two of you starting off, the expectation is that statistically you will not know what he looks like in 5 years. Very great. You only have in your life two parents. Those two people. I would suggest that you think about that. I would also suggest that you think about the fact that certain things make sense and certain things don't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. And the fact that he has convinced you that the cause of his problems at work is your father is just ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000.
আপনারা যখন একদম খ্যাতির চূড়াতে ছিলেন মডেল হিসেবে এবং আপনারা লাক্সের বিজ্ঞাপন করেছিলেন, আপনারা সেই সময়ের 4 জন শীর্ষ তারকা শমিকা আয়েশা, বিপাশা হায়াত, আফসানা মিমি এবং আপনি, আপনারা মুম্বাই গিয়েছিলেন একসাথে এবং আমরা শুনেছি যে শুটিংয়ের বাইরেও আপনারা ঘুরে বেড়াতেন। মানে প্রফেশনাল জেলাসি ছিল না আপনাদের ভেতর?
কেন থাকবে? প্রথমত আমি এরা তিনজনই একজন প্রাপ্ত অভিনেত্রী, তখন নাম করা একজন, ওদের ধারে কাছে আমি নাই। আমি একজন নাচের শিল্পী, আমি একজন মডেল, পাশাপাশি বরাবর হতে হবে তো আমার তাদেরকে হিংসা করার জন্য। তো আমি তখন লন্ডন গেছি 1994-এ একটা অনুষ্ঠানে, স্টেজ শোতে, যেখানে বিবি আপা, তারপরে আমাদের সাদাত আঙ্কেল এনারা ছিলেন।
সেটা কি মিস ওয়ার্ল্ডের?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, একটা মিস ওয়ার্ল্ডের একটা অনুষ্ঠানে গেছিলাম। ওখানে তোমার লন্ডনের কিছু মেয়েরা মিস ওয়ার্ল্ডেরই, তখন আমি নাচতে গেছিলাম। হ্যাঁ, তো ওখানে আমার মা আমাকে ফোন করে খবর দেয়, আম্মা ভীষণ খুশি যে লাক্স আমাকে প্রপোজ করেছে। তো ওই সময় কিন্তু লাক্স আমি যা পয়সা নিই সেটার থেকেও আমাকে কম প্রপোজ করেছে, কিন্তু আমার মায়ের কথা একটাই যে আমি চাই তুমি লাক্স করো। ফিরে আসার পরে আমি এরকম লাক্স করে, মা গেছে আমার সাথে, খুব খুশি। তো বরাবর করব বিপাশা আপুর সাথে, সৌমি আপুর সাথে, মিমি আপার সাথে, তো প্রশ্নই আসে না।
সেই সময় কোনো মজার স্মৃতি আছে? মানে
অনেক মজার স্মৃতি আছে।
আমি দেখলাম যে একটা ঘোড়ার গাড়ি বোধহয় আপনারা একসাথে,
দেখেছো ছবিটা? আমরা সবাই, সৌমির সাথে সৌমির আম্মু গেছে, সৌমি আপুর সাথে সৌমি আপুর আম্মু গেছে, বিপাশা আপুর সাথে নাতাশা আর আন্টি গেছে, আমার সাথে আমার মা। ঠিক আছে, আমরা সারাদিন সব কিছু শুটিং টুটিং শেষ করে আমরা রাতে বেলায় ঘোড়ার গাড়ি করে সব ঘুরতে গেছি। সেটা নিয়ে কত মজার মজার গল্প, মানে এমন জায়গায় ঘোড়া গাড়ি আমাদেরকে নিয়ে গেছে যেখানে মানে কি বলবো। আচ্ছা, একসাথে সিনেমা দেখেছি, তারপরে আমাদের রাকায়েত ভাই,
কি সিনেমা সে সময় কিছু
সেটা আমার মনে নাই কি সিনেমা দেখেছি, তবে আমি আর নাতার সাথে কাছাকাছি বয়সী, আমরা দুজন সারা দিন রাকায়েত ভাইকে বিরক্ত করেছি। কারণ তখন হলো বম্বেতে আমাদের শুটিং হচ্ছে এসএল ওয়ার্ল্ড ছিল, আমরা তখন অ্যাড দেখি ওটার। আমরা দুজন দুলাভাইকে পাগল করে দিলাম, রাকায়েত ভাই আমাদের দুলাভাই, আমাদেরকে এখন নিয়ে যেতে হবে। তো কি সম্পর্ক এদের সাথে আমার বলো, যে মিমি আপা বললো ওদেরকে নিয়ে যাও সারাদিনের জন্য। আমরা দুইজন, আমি আর নাতাশা, সারাদিন রাকায়েত ভাইকে পাগল করেছি এসএল ওয়ার্ল্ডে গিয়ে। তো আমি কেন তাদের সাথে হিংসা করব, প্রশ্নই আসে না। প্রফেশনাল জেলাসি। আর্টিস্টদের কিন্তু একটা শ্রেণীর মানুষই মনে করছে না, মনে করছে যে আমরা বুঝি একটা পুতুল, আমাদের ভেতরে বোধহয় কিছুই কাজ করবে না। তবে অবশ্যই রাগ এবং ক্ষোভটা আমাদের কন্ট্রোল করে কথা বলা উচিত, কারণ সেটা হয়তো দর্শকরা চাইছেন এরকম করে। কিন্তু দিন শেষে আমরাও তো আসলে মানুষ।
একবার শুনেছিলাম এক্স মিস ইউনিভার্স সুস্মিতা সেন, যার সাথে আপনারও দেখা হয়েছিল একটি অনুষ্ঠানে, তাকে প্রশ্ন করা হয়েছিল, যে প্রশ্ন না, তাকে বলা হয়েছিল যে তুমি সবসময় সংযত উত্তর দেবে, কারণ মানুষ তোমার প্রশ্নটা মনে রাখবে না, তোমার রিয়াকশনটা কিন্তু মনে রাখবে। তারপর থেকে কিন্তু সবসময় তার ইন্টারভিউগুলো আমি ফলো করি, খুব দারুণ থাকে এবং খুব সুন্দর সুন্দর কথা বলেন। আবার ওদিকে একজন কিংবদন্তি টেনিস খেলোয়াড় আছেন ম্যাকেনরো, এবং তিনি সবসময় দেখা যেত যে সবসময় র্যাকেট ভেঙে ফেলতেন যখন সাংবাদিকরা আসতেন, এবং তার সেই খেলাগুলো কিন্তু কেউ মনে রাখেনি, তার সেই স্বভাবটি মনে রেখেছে। আপনার কি মনে হয় মোয়াপ্পা, যে সেলিব্রিটিদের, শিল্পীদের কতটা ইন্টেলিজেন্স থাকা উচিত এবং সংবাদ মাধ্যমের সামনে আসলে কিভাবে থাকা উচিত?
আমরা তো আসলে, আমরা এখন যে যুগে বাস করছি, আমাদেরকে মানুষ শিল্পী বলে আমাদেরকে তো মানুষের খাতায় আসলে ধরা হচ্ছে না। আমাদের রাগ, ইমোশন, প্রতিটা বিষয় নিয়েই কথা বলা হচ্ছে। আমরা যেমন, আমি তোমার শোতে এসেও কথা বলতে গিয়ে কিন্তু ইমোশনাল হয়ে গেছি, চোখ দিয়ে পানি চলে এসছে, কিন্তু সেটা নিয়ে পরবর্তী গল্পগুলো তখন যতটুকু না শুনেছি এখন আরও বেশি শুনি। এখন যখন আমি দেখি যে অনেক সময় জাহিদকেই শুনেছি বলতে যে আমার চোখ দিয়ে পানি চলে আসে, কেউ এটা পজিটিভলি দেখে, কেউ নেগেটিভলি দেখে। তো আমি মনে করি অবশ্যই আমাদের আর্টিস্টদের কিন্তু একটা শ্রেণীর মানুষই মনে করছে না, মনে করছে যে আমরা বুঝি একটা পুতুল, আমাদের ভেতরে বোধহয় কিছুই কাজ করবে না। তবে অবশ্যই রাগ এবং ক্ষোভটা আমাদের কন্ট্রোল করে কথা বলা উচিত, কারণ সেটা হয়তো দর্শকরা চাইছেন এরকম করে। কিন্তু দিন শেষে আমরাও তো আসলে মানুষ, কখনো কখনো ভিতরে রাখতে পারি, কখনো রাখতে পারি না। সেই জন্য আমার মনে হয় অতিরিক্ত কথা বলাটার তো প্রয়োজন আসলে নাই। আমাকে যখন আগে কেউ ইন্টারভিউতে ডাকতো, আমি খুব অকপটে একটা কথা বলি, বা এখনও বলতাম বা এখনও বলি, সেটা হলো যে আমি ভাই নাচের মানুষ, একটা ক্যাসেট এনে বাজিয়ে দেন, আমি নাচ দেখিয়ে দিব, কথা বলতে আমাকে বলেন না, আমি খুব ভয় পাই।